Hello, everyone. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. I'm sure everybody has been ready for tonight. It's always a pleasure to have Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot on. You never know what we're going to talk about, where we're going to go, or if we're even going to have a channel when we get done. But I guarantee you, we're going to have fun tonight, and there will be a lot of laughs, hopefully some information, and you guys will actually learn maybe some little something, I don't know, or at least something you didn't know about. I don't know if it'll be beneficial to you, but it definitely, hopefully, you'll take something home from the show that you didn't know before it started. Tonight, we've got Amanda's going to be co-hosting with me tonight. Kristen said she may be coming in late. She has some personal things to do, but she may make it in here. Hopefully, she does. I'm sure she'll have a million questions also because they're actually sharing some videos with us tonight, and we're going to be looking at the video clips that they had shared and going over them. And guys, it might just smell like shit. I'm not sure. But we're going to get into that video too. I laughed so hard when I saw that. I watched it several times. So you guys, we're ready to look at that one. It took several sniff tests, but you'll see what we're talking about when we get to it. It was definitely, yeah, it was worth it. The clip itself made my day. I'm going to go ahead and bring Amanda on here.
Hi,
Hello,
Mike.
Amanda.
Hi, Mike. Hi, everyone in chat. Love
You
you
have,
all.
you have no idea what you're in for tonight.
I don't, but I'm excited. I love Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
And we got, let's see, who we got in chat? I didn't do a chat call out. We got Lisa. We got Stream RS is here. We got Nancy. Looks like Fancy Nancy's in here tonight. Get her all riled up for the show. Michelle McGuire's in here tonight. Sharon will be here in just a little bit, I think. Let me check right here real quick. So, tonight I'm excited to get into it, Amanda. It's going to be fun times, I guarantee you. So,
yes, I'm excited too.
Yeah, Kristen might be dodging a bullet tonight by being late. I don't know. she might be hiding on purpose. Hey Tim, good to see you.
What is Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot's real name?
That would be Jim and Matt.
Okay, thank you. Because I didn't know their names.
Yeah, I seen Matt warming up the microphone back there before the show. He was getting it already tuned up. They was tuning it up like a banjo. They're about ready to go here in a minute. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot on, guys. Welcome Jim and Matt to the show.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Amanda. How you guys doing?
Oh, not much. What's up, guys?
Not much. We're just staying and hanging in there.
Yeah, like you said, Mike. You like to talk, and I definitely like to talk. We get us together. There's a lot of talking going on. So there's no. And with you, I've known on the last few shows, we end up getting into all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, we sent you that one. I've got that one clip, and we thought, there's nothing better than going to, if you anyone out there that has an abnormal something happen, send it to Mike. He's the abnormal investigator. So I'm like, this would be cool. So I'm like, that, check out the abnormal stuff that's happened to us, and tell us what you think, and it ought to be fun. That'll be fun.
Right. I looked at some of the clips that y'all sent me, and I look forward to talking about those tonight. I was halfway asleep last night. I was downloading your all's videos and putting them on here to use them, uploading them and everything. And I came across that one, and I laughed so hard. I was like, well, and I had kind of a little bit of a different thought on it, and I'll share that with y'all here in a little bit as to what I think it could have possibly been. I don't think it's any better.
Yeah, we have got stuff in a few
minutes. Kristen will probably join here in a little bit, but I was wondering, just kind of a question for her. Have you all ever seen, and I hope I get this right, an entity, I guess is what you would call it, that would be tall, skinny, grayish light skin, but was able to cloak?
The only thing I could think of would possibly be like the Grays, but unless it's like the It or some other type of thing. Unless Dad got another opinion about that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I've never seen anything. I've always had it.
No, haven't.
Luckily, my veil is good and strong for me. I mean, some people see everything.
Right?
My veil is like good. He's the one that has seen things, and a lot of people out there could see things. And I've been lucky. I've kept my sanity most of my life because plus I'm half blind, so everything would be blurry to me in the woods anyway. So I've been lucky. That's a blessing
Right.
for some of us.
I'm glad you said that, because I've wondered in the past, when we go out boots on the ground, Sarah would see like a lady standing in the woods, and she'd be like, "Mike, it's right there, it's right there." And I'd say, "Sarah, you're crazy. I don't see nothing." And she's like, "She's right there. She's walking at us." And I said, "There ain't nobody there." And she's like, "Yeah, she's got this jerky." She was like jerky, real jerky movements. And I was like, "I don't see anything." But then I got thinking about it. Whenever I go out to do the boots on the ground, I always pray. And whenever I get there, I pray and I tell them that they do not have authority to hurt me, touch me, follow me, attach to me, or mind speak to me. So I was wondering, maybe it's the prayers that I'm doing is why I wasn't seeing it, and she wasn't doing that, and she was seeing it, because I always put a protection on myself. And then when I leave, I pretty much do the prayer backwards. I tell it, "You do not have the authority to follow me home, attach to me, my vehicle, any of my items that I carry. You have to stay here in Jesus' name. I plead the blood on them." And I leave them, in the place that I found them. So I don't have any trouble. But I noticed that Sarah, when she didn't do that, things followed her home and beat on her house the same night we would come home. So
It's interesting. I've got one thought about that. Now this is my opinion and theory, and how do let me just say this. Like the veil, what we're kind of finding out is actually in the spirit, what I would guess they would call the old man, the spirit of the old man. We don't realize, but like everything's spirit based, and I believe the old man is going to retire. Because the veil has been good for us, helping us, and some of these other things in the other dimensions, including, the spirit world. That's what I call dimensions. Obviously, there's most of us believe there's a spirit world. So if there's a spirit world, there's a veil. Therefore, there has to be other dimensions. Anyway, yeah. So I'm thinking that it's just he might be retiring, I guess you could say, for our benefit. And so that's where I think some of us are getting maybe the veil's thinner. And in places you go to is thinner. They actually say that. I mean, like Louisiana or down in New Orleans, supposedly the veil is thinner because of whatever, something to do with
those swamp areas.
So anyway, and like you said, I've never asked to see a Bigfoot. I really am kind of like, I'm happy,
right.
Matt, he had like this thing where he's like, look, if I hear you in my head, I want to see this. And then, he got his visit. So he went back in the house and said, okay, enough of that. But I mean, at least that's, so there is something going on.
Yeah, I do got something to say about that. It's like possibly it's what I was saying is a need to know basis. The grandfather that holds the veil, the way I see that, how he sees it is possibly like you have a internal thing about yourself, and it's a need to know for certain things, and then you'll receive whatever you need to know. That's a given type of deal. And then you have intentions, the power of your intentions to be able to see or not to see them. So there's that too. And that was like my part with Scott the Bigfoot, I was talking to him, but I was like really like against myself, like, because I'm like, dude, if I'm talking to him and I don't even have never seen a Bigfoot, then that's like that's dividing me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I'll just stop talking until I see him. And that's what happened later on, that I think 3 days or within those 3 days of the nights when I was locking up the chickens, that's whenever I saw that sucker being way up on top of that tree, waving it across, passing the moon on both sides. The tree was waving both sides of the moon. And then about your person that was like she gets followed and such. Well, what I'm thinking is possibly her intentions wasn't so strong, but the need to know how to come across. So it's like a kind of like a double-edged sword. If the sword's not swinging right and not sharp in a certain way, then you might have some carriers that comes along with you. But you needed to have a certain message come through, sometimes.
What do you think?
Intentions are really important.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Amanda nailed that too. And what do you think about them being attracted to women also?
Maybe just a natural instinct from animals, I guess.
Well, I would say
I
that.
don't know.
Well, the thing is, I think women have
Oh,
a little bit more oomph in this world. They have a portal. They
mitochondria.
can give birth. They can, So I think women have a lot more powers than they're given credit for. That's probably why they're kind of being abused, is because the power that women have, I think. And so they probably have more abilities to see. In the old days, they had seers, across this country. You had what they call big mamas. They were over the tribes, and they were the ladies then they were women. So women are kind of more associated for psychics and seers, because I just, there's so, maybe that's why, they're attracted to women, because women can see them more than people like me. I'm what you call hard headed. I'm more hard headed. I'm kind of like, I don't think so.
Nah, he ain't hard headed at all.
Yeah, he's not hard headed.
Oh, it says no.
Yeah.
I always kind of wondered, do maybe they see women as I got to be careful because we're not on Patreon. Do they see women as a potential breeding partner? Kind of in the Bible is how, the watchers took the women, and if they're part watcher, then they would have a part human side of them, which they would say, hey, she's kind of like me. She's attractive. She smells better than that old guy that's with her,
Right.
Yeah, and that is a good point, as we know, there's a lot of breeding and genetic modification and DNAs of the humans and things going on through and so women would definitely be more valuable as far as laboratory experiments.
Yeah.
And they might be able to be easier tracked. Women are possibly because they bleed and such like that, those months and such. So the blood scent is able to carry further through the woods than possibly regular odor scent. I mean, it depends on how bad the dude's sweating or something, but
right.
Yeah, that's true too.
And hopefully the male Bigfoot's not attracted to the guy, right?
yeah,
Let's
that's
hope not.
dangerous. Scary. Scary for both sides.
That's whenever you stop hunting and camping by yourself.
Yeah, that's why I'm out of the wood. Ain't going. I mean, probably me.
Too.
Just don't roam around the woods naked. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
I hope
pretty
so.
much. I mean, even though Bigfoots are big, hairy, naked guys, still we need to keep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just because they're half clothed doesn't mean we should be. I mean, never mind.
And they're animals know, even at the animal level, whenever a female is fertile. So I wonder if they know that, and if that's part of an attractant to them, because Scott Carpenter even said women should not hunt them, and especially if
it's that time of the month.
Right. And here's something that'll blow your all's mind if y'all don't already know it. This blew my mind the other day. So I used to joke about the movie Bone Tomahawk. I used to say that I supported that movie. I love that movie. I don't know if y'all have seen it or not, but
I don't
think so. No, on the top of
No,
my head.
me neither.
y'all have got to see that movie. It's a good movie, and come to find out, that movie is actually based on the Bigfoot War in Oklahoma.
Oh, now I do know a little bit about that war.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
That's interesting.
that movie is based off of that war. And man, let me tell you, that movie is, I mean, a lot of women probably aren't going to like it because it's very violent. But some of the things that they done in that movie, it kind of made me sit back and say, wow, that makes sense because of how, I don't want to ruin the movie, but the vocal cords in this certain tribe of Indians they were hunting were different, and they were able to make noises that other people couldn't and communicate. And it was really, really interesting. They stole the women. Just like the Oklahoma War, they were stealing the women and the children. If the women could not have babies and they were not, productive, then you eat them. And the men, the men that you catch, they're not, you don't need them for nothing. So they're just automatic food. That movie goes into a lot of things. I can't go as far into it as I want to right now with you guys because I watched your video. Man, I love your video too on the lemon water, and it fits into that though because look at like what Mel Gibson said, right? I've been trying to tell you, you just ain't been listening. The cannibals are all around us.
They're cannibals.
And, Roseanne Barr, she came out and said what she said.
Kids.
Yep.
I tell you guys, we're going to have to do a Patreon. We're going that way we can really say what we want to say because we could go so far down that rabbit hole. And that's a rabbit hole that it really bothered me whenever this stuff started dropping because there was people that was involved. I was like, no way, so I'm going to walk on the wild side just a little bit on this live right here. Hopefully we'll get away with this. So to be careful, did y'all see the Ellen Heck video where she had the wreck and was presumably DOA?
I have.
I haven't. Tina's my brain over there. Tina, have I seen it? You can see we're so disconnected from TV and movies, but unfortunately.
Hi, Tina.
She said hi. Amanda. She's coming.
Hi.
Hi, Tina.
Hello,
No,
Tina.
I haven't
Good to
seen
see
it.
you.
I don't.
She's the movie buff, and she's British, so she's like remembers everybody's name, and she remembers.
I have to because
she
you don't.
she remembers all the movies, so she fills us up and she fills me in on everything.
Politics.
That's awesome.
Politics. She knows everything. She follows everything.
Well, Ellen
Of
Heck
course she does.
was in a car wreck, and the helicopter from above was filming the scene.
H.
Uh-huh.
With Ellen DeGeneres ex girlfriend.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yes, we saw it.
And they had her head covered up, and she was supposed to be deceased at the time.
Yeah, and she goes.
And yeah, she raised up and tried to get off the bed, and they pushed her back down, and they put her in the ambulance. And
then
number on the ambulance isn't registered to any of the fire departments in the city.
Wow.
Wow.
And the files that just
Pizza party.
the files, you know.
That.
You could say pizza.
Yeah. Well, you know, the files that just dropped,
With
Mhm.
Ellen?
Ellen supposedly consumed her.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did.
Allegedly.
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 I mean, that's what I always do. Growing up as a kid, you made me mad. You know, not be. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna have a hamburger out of you.
Yeah. So, you know,
Don't make that person mad.
yeah, it was really, I was like, wow, this goes really deep. This is like, let's see what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Entertainment
yeah. I like the
purpose.
bigness of that.
Well, let me
It's all
let
allegedly.
me fill you in on one little detail that most people have no idea about. I just found out researching recently. If a doctor declares you dead,
Mm.
they do not have to declare you dead, because if your heart's still pumping, that don't mean jack in the medical world.
Right.
So if they declare you dead because you're brain dead, you know, they've had plenty of people do this. So she could have been dead, even though she sat up and went, ah. Believe it or not, if she's been declared dead, she's dead. And I know.
In the field, they usually don't declare.
Well, I'm just telling. Well, a doctor can sign off that if you're considered brain dead. That's the thing that most people have no idea about, is that you can't take organs from a dead body. And most people don't know this. This ain't conspiracy. This is fact. The only thing you can take is like skin
and
but-
bone.
Yeah,
Top of
but
the hill.
but they cannot take it. So they will keep people, and that's been the big problem we have. Is a lot of people have no idea that if you're
An
if they
organ
sign
donor.
you off as dead, even though your heart's beating and they'll tell your family Johnny's dead
Jeez.
because he's not conscious.
He could just be in a coma, brain dead, and they classify you as dead just because you're not thinking. You're laying down there with slobber all in your mouth, and you're still like shaking your head, like, no, don't mess with me.
So legally,
popping you
so
out.
legally, you could see a video where someone pops up and goes, "Hey," and they'll push him back down and put the covers back on him, and everyone be conspiring that person wasn't dead, but legally they were. And that's what blows my mind. I don't know how in the world they get away, but it is. I'm telling you, you guys can research this for yourself. Because if you ask, it's really hard to get this stuff out of AI. You know how that is. You ask AI,
Yeah, I mean, damn,
you'll have to do some digging to get this out of AI. It's not easy.
All through the
Careful
guidelines.
being an organ donor.
Yeah, I mean, that'll give you second thoughts, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually afraid to say that word.
Yeah, me
Our
too.
topic, but
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we're all finding out so much information that there is a good reason to be concerned now. It's not conspiracies. People are realizing that there is something going on with the humans being used, and that's not conspiracies no more.
And I think that people, if anybody got a thermal camera, needs to go to Washington, D.C. and see if there's any reptilian humanoid things.
You're bringing up something we'll talk about later.
I brought it up too soon.
Well, the thing is, a thermal camera, if you all your Bigfoot people and researchers, if you have a thermal camera and you point it at a turtle, it won't have any heat. You point it at a snake, it won't have any heat. If you go to Buckingham Palace and point it at the guards out front, you'll be like, how come those guys ain't got no heat? If you go to Congress pointing at the people, I'm just some girl on TikTok is getting kicked off because of her video. And I'm like, I want a thermal camera. I'm ready to go. Reptile over here. I'll
free. Wasn't there a movie kind of like that where the guy wore glasses? It was called like They Exist or something.
They exist.
Yeah, right. And see, like I said, I'm not telling you, thermal camera, you can go look at them. If you point at a turtle, the turtles have no body heat. They're reptiles. Snakes don't have no body heat. They don't glow. And so, I think that I'm impressed with her research. I think that people need to, I want to find out if that's true. I don't have a thermal camera, but I'd like to find out. I was going to point it at Tina first and see if my wife is real first.
Yeah.
You know,
Get the basics down first.
You know, Walmart had one on sale I seen last week for like $60.
right?
Yeah.
Thermal.
I don't know. I don't know how good it is, but it
Right.
was actually listed as a thermal camera.
Dang,
Mhm.
that's nice. Not bad.
It'd be kind of interesting to look through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a thermal camera. It was pretty awesome.
Right. Right. They got a lot of good uses.
Did you have body heat, Amanda?
Yes.
Not in the mirror though. That was the vampire part of her.
Yeah, I didn't see myself in the mirror.
All you see is the brush floating.
Yep.
She might have to tippy toe though to see herself in the mirror. I don't know. I think she's kind of. I think she's a little short.
I'm 5'3".
She's 5'3". Oh, she's tall, guys. I was wrong. She's tall.
Yeah, geez.
She's 3
Yeah.
inches above 5 foot. It's
If
worth
she-
Exactly. That's all that matters.
If she
Right.
was in Oz, she'd be tall.
Yes, exactly.
So, trying to think how I can ask this and not get myself in trouble. How long do you think? Okay, let's put it like this. Out of all of the beef consumed daily, are we slaughtering that many cows daily to fulfill that number?
I'd hammered through AI trying to get, to get that. I couldn't. I ended up, AI gets you lost. The only thing I did get out of that was like 83% or 90% of the beef in the United States is not owned by the people of the United States. It's owned by few guys in Brazil. I don't even know how they own all the beef in the United States. But I could not get this. You know how it is. I get sidetracked when you do research. But I was like you, man. I was doing the numbers and trying to get that. And but there's been several stories, and these are in the news, so I'm not making up stuff. There was a lady that went disappeared in New York, and she then there was a truck that got pulled over down in Texas, and they found this lady in that truck. The driver had no idea. He was just a driver, but that truck was headed for a meat processing facility. And so there's been cases when, the price of beef, I mean, I could probably get $100, $200 for Matt right here,
not bad money.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, you got to wonder, and like I said, that's fact. That's fact.
I mean, that's a pretty good grocery. That's a half a cart full of groceries. $200.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Matt weighs about 150 or 200.
160. That's what's killing us.
And
my weight.
Beef's like $5 a pound. So,
We might have a chance. Beef is getting expensive.
I mean, you're definitely, you're not the only person that's really starting to wonder about how we get so much. And there's all these stories. There was another story came out today, and it was a place. Where was that warehouse? It got California somewhere. I'm trying to remember where it got busted, but they had all these it's California. They had all these body parts in that place.
Yeah, he pulled it on Twitter.
On Twitter, but they got busted today, and they got all this. And it was a donation center. Donate your body. We're going to do good things with it. And it was just a meat processing basically facility. I mean, I don't know if that was what they were actually doing. They were speculating, but
yeah, I seen a little bit of that.
Yeah,
they were a meat supplier for McRonald.
I was about to say, just don't eat McDonald's and you'll be okay.
Yeah, for McDaddy.
We only thing we really eat, the only thing we trust anymore, pork. I know it's like, what? First, we're poor. Yeah. We can't afford beef, and I don't trust beef because I'm like, anybody would be thrown in that pile of meat. Exactly. And ham is really pork is really kind of hard to fake. And chicken is like, I don't even sure what that is. I mean, we have tried, and we've given up on it.
Everything tastes like chicken.
Yeah, well,
it changed.
You know,
chicken no more. Squirrel tastes more like
if
chicken than chicken.
if you go back and you look at the old, I'm not going to say the name of it because I got a strike on me last time for saying their name, but
Wow.
McDaddy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a YouTube strike on me for that. But we're going to talk about McDaddy's.
Sounds good.
You ever noticed how whenever the old time commercials, he's like pulling out, you know, like this big burger and
Kids.
the fries, and then he pulls the kid out, and the little kid's like, "Oh, how'd you get my cousin in there?" You know, what are they trying to tell you, dude?
Yeah. I mean,
Mom, why, you know, why does my hamburger patty got a heart on it that says "Mom" in it? You know?
Oh my gosh.
right? You know,
Gross.
my oldest son come over the other day and they had McDonald's, you know, and I'm like, yeah, as much as I'm like around me, and they knew they was going to catch it. They knew. They were like, okay, look, we're eating our own. We don't care. They're like, we don't care. We're on a budget. I'm like, I'm looking at them going, judge that stuff because you know you've heard us talk about this stuff, and now you know, hey, those a month ago were crazy. Now they're like, I think those guys are onto something.
Right.
Human meat.
I think they might be
Down at the restaurant.
But now we're
And
getting.
do they do the old you know, the old ones like that's your, you know, soups and stews and jerky?
Ew.
Tita's over there rolling on the
couch. You know? Yeah, I mean, you know, you can
I'm
feed
glad
more.
I don't eat meat.
You can feed more people with soup than you can a burger. You know,
That's true.
Well,
water them out.
I'm like you guys. I really don't want to. I don't want to interfere with people's habits or where they eat, and I wouldn't say anything about Chick-fil-A at all.
No,
never.
Not Chick-fil-A.
I would never say anything about the 50 extra ingredients. I wouldn't say anything about what they put in the Chick-fil-A chicken. No, I will not.
Nope. We won't speak about how green it could be. I will not.
No, I'm just talking about the special ingredients.
And, well, look at, you know, the other night I done that show on that new stuff. What is it called? Appeal, that just got, you know, okayed now to get used on our food and our organic food now. The organic food is not safe anymore. They approved it for use on it, and they do not have to label it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now I'm not safe either for eating fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're going to get it in there one way or another. Yeah, I mean, we could even go down, you know, even further than. Hey, John, good to see you. Glad you was able to make it in tonight. You know, we're just talking about some slump stew, and when the drive-thrus are going to start serving stew, right? Just like Grandma used to taste or make.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Grandma's last run, you know.
When she was tender.
Yeah. Tender-hearted, right? Tender-hearted.
Really good in the heart.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Poor Jim. He's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Well, we've spent years trying to get out of processed foods, and you know, we're not. You know, we're definitely no saints here. We still get it. And if Tina brings something in, being mad and grab the box and look all over and go, where's that? Where's
the bioengineering?
Where's the bio? Right here. You missed it. She bought some stuff the other day. She was so excited. She came home and she's like, it's good. And Matt's like, right here. Right there. And she's so disappointed. It said bioengineers. They like hit it, you know, and it's like, so we're just potatoes type people, right? You know, like, what can you do?
Can you really get away from it, really, though? I mean,
not if you buy processed food.
you know? And I mean, I'm pretty sure those airplanes are probably dropping it out anyways. I mean, they're going to make sure you get it one way or the other, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's kind of like, you get inflammation, you get burny eyes, your energy. So it's like trying to balance how good trying to take care of yourself. It's a balance. So, I mean, we try, but we're like you, man. Can you avoid it? Not really. You can do the best you can. We eat basic rice, potatoes kind of people. And
eggs, chickens.
Yeah.
So,
but like you said, it's really hard to avoid everything. It's not busy lifestyles that most people have.
Right.
It's almost like they're marinating us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For the ETs.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? But yeah, it's like everywhere. It's just not right, but it's what it looks like exactly.
Because they like real finger food, right?
Yeah,
and his bologna really does have a first name. I mean, them commercials, those commercials.
Myers was a real man.
Yeah. Mayonnaise, some good sandwiches.
Man.
Oh yeah. So your videos that you sent me are clips. I had them labeled, but for some reason StreamYard unlabeled them. So I'll just play them, and you all can tell me about them.
Okay.
They're all really good. I can't wait for the one, but so let's go with this one right here. I like this one here. That was a good one.
Well, I had this rock
Yeah.
right here.
All right.
Yeah, I guess it might have rolled off. I understand.
Okay,
that.
wind blew it, sure.
Yeah.
And what happened to him?
He got folded twice.
How did it get folded? What were they doing? How did he get folded?
He's a short man.
Oh, they made him shorter.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Get the camera on him.
Well, but you picked it up. It was on the ground.
Yeah, it makes him look shorter.
All right, make him taller now.
Grew.
Oh, wow.
And he got short.
So they were actually putting out, they're short, they're small.
Yeah, little people.
I believe they're small. I believe they're little guys. Truth.
That's interesting.
Truth, ain't it?
Yeah.
Truth. What animals can fold paper?
None that I know of. Maybe a raccoon, but why would a raccoon fold a piece of paper in the middle of the woods? He'll be eating food instead. And the raccoon didn't eat the food. That's weird.
Well, that's weird. That's another strange oddity.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to this turkey.
So you think they were telling you that they were not as tall as the picture?
Right. We don't have that piece of paper anymore because it probably got destroyed in our camping gear. We do have the one that smells that we'll still check out later. But yeah, that was, and that's some of your investigations. What we did was that one was a printer. I just went on, pulled out some black and white graphics, and printed out pictures, and then I just took them out. And that, as you can see, what we did on that one, that was just a printout. We do hand drawings too. We used to. We don't do them anymore. But it's really fascinating what happens. And that one was printed out, and we put it under there, and you could see there was we put a little rock on it, stick art around it, and everything. And the next morning when we went out, it was underneath the sticks and all that folded, and that's it. And so we concluded they were communicating that they were shorter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, here's another one because I just now saw it just now. It's kind of crazy, but he was if you look at the picture, it looked like he covered his private parts. I thought that was interesting. And like exactly is fully covered. Yeah,
he did.
I didn't even thought about that till actually I saw it. And I'm like, I don't know. It's either that or he covered up his private parts as I don't know, playing with us or something. I don't know, but just another option of seeing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was that a male photo or a female photo that you put out there? Was it saying maybe I'm not a male or I'm a female or?
Good
That's
point.
Interesting. Good point, because I think it was a male photo. It just didn't have the private parts down there.
So maybe it was trying to say, I'm not a male, I'm a female.
Right.
And if it was a female, maybe also that's why it would fold it down to say I'm shorter too. I'm a female.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
That's
true.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that we probably did that 5 years ago, so or more by now.
think
But
so.
that we just go out and put pictures out, and they would. That's how we got our community. Whether it was a Bigfoot or whether it was forest people, whether it was an elf, whether it was a
E.T..
an ET, a gremlin. We don't. I still have no idea what's in the woods. Who does, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I never knew until lately that a lady that had watched my show, she'd watched me for a while. She's now a co-host too, Sky. She told me that when she started watching me a long time ago, that she was seeing little people in my videos, and she just never said anything. But she said there was a lot of little people. She said she would see them in the trees, and probably like this tall. I don't know, 6'8", 6'8" inches, like real little people. And I don't know what my cousins ran into. You all might have a better idea. I know they saw something, because if they wouldn't have saw something, then they would have went back behind my granny's house. There was a place called Swinging Bridge, and what it was is you would walk behind her house. It was a half a mile, and you would walk through a whole bunch of persimmon trees. Then you would get into the pecan trees, and then you would get to the creek. Well, at that creek was an old time cable bridge that hung over that creek that had the old slats in it, and it swung. So we called it Swinging Bridge. Well, us younger kids, we weren't allowed to go there. We weren't old enough, only the older, cousins could go by themselves. Well, they would sneak beer down there and stick the beer in the stream to keep it cold. And they go down there and, drink a beer or two. Well, they done it all the time, except for one night they were on their way back. And they were like 17 to probably 18, 19 years old. When they walked in Granny's back door, everybody said, "What is wrong with you guys?" They looked like they saw the devil. They said on their way back, they heard talking. And it was later in the evening. They were normally supposed to be back, whenever it was more daylight. They said that these little people were following them. But they didn't describe them as 6 or 8 inches tall. They described them as around 3 foot tall. And they said that they were following them. And whenever they got, close to the persimmon trees, they started throwing persimmons at them. It scared my cousins so bad that they never went back. Now, I had another cousin. He was in his 60s, and he was mentally retarded. My granny would take care of him sometimes, and then her sister would take care of him. And he wasn't real bad, but he was kind of like a 12-year-old in a 60-year-old's body. Well, he decided one day he was going to go to that bridge, and he snuck away. Whenever he came back, he told a story of sitting on the bridge, talking to the little people, and watching the little people swim in the creek. And he didn't even know the story, but that's what he came back and said.
They probably showed themselves to him because they knew he was like 12 years old in his mind.
Right, and that's the other thing is, I think I've heard about Bigfoots having like a bunch of eyes hanging around their bodies a lot of times. So I wonder if they're, like you said, little people are getting free rides off Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I was
I've
thinking
heard that
maybe it's
too.
like a goblin or gremlins, but I mean, still either way, they're little people. So it's like, what type of name do you put on something we don't always see,
Yep.
I'm glad you said that, because what's interesting about that is, so that creek I was telling you about, there's another creek that's about, let me look at this in my head, get the sections, about 3 miles from that creek. There's another creek, And this is the creek that was in the old town before they flooded it. It's still there today. The old men of the old town, the elders, they named that bridge Troll Bridge because they said they saw little trolls under that bridge. So I wonder if that ain't the same little people that they were seeing on the other creek.
Probably.
Possibly. That sounds about right.
But
That's interesting, though.
well, this distinguish something here that I see all the time is they talk about Bigfoot's. Sometimes they talk about he has no neck, and then sometimes he does. And I'm like, if you look at the orgs,
the big orgs like Shrek.
They're like a Shrek. They have no neck, and so there is misidentifications. Obviously, I mean, we might think it's a Bigfoot and it's an org.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm always trying to figure out which one are we talking about, because I hear people, I'm fair, when I listen to people tell about their experiences, I hear a lot of people say his whole body turned, and I'm thinking org.
Right.
And then they're like, he turned his head, and I'm like, Bigfoot. So it's neat to, like I said, we're trying to keep up with what are we seeing. There's so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
The orcs kind of remind me of like the Gugway.
Okay. I mean, I assume that the orgs are like hairless in comparison to Bigfoots, but I mean, that's my assumption. By what been drawn in the past about them, not much hair on them.
And like a troll, I bet you they're orgs. Like I said, I'm not. I definitely have not studied up on my mythological creatures, but they're.
Mm-hmm.
And then the gremlins. Then you get different statues of size, which changes them. It might be a short org, might be called a gremlin.
Yeah.
Right.
And Burger King has their little gremlins, didn't they?
Yeah, Burger King.
Whenever I was little, hearing that stuff outside, just so afraid it was going to come inside. And, my grandma passed away, and I had the house for a little while. And I was painting one of the bedrooms one night with my cousin and my friend. And we had the old wooden windows up because we were painting. And we probably should have known better because of the history of the place down there, but we had to have the windows up to paint. It was late at night. We didn't have any phones. And those paint brushes that are like the little foam ones that you use to go like around the windows, with where you can make the little sharp paint, My cousin had his back to me, and I was roller painting the wall opposite of him. There was 2 windows in there we had opened. And he's like, "Hey, Mike, can you hand me that sponge paintbrush real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, just, 1 second. Let me get this done." And he goes, "Thank you." I was like, "What?" And I turned around, and he's using it. And I said, "Oh, you got it?" And he's like, "No, you handed it to me, didn't you?" I said, "I didn't hand it to you." So scared us pretty bad. We were, still probably in our 20s, 21, 22. So we started shutting the windows, and whenever we shut the windows, I don't know what this thing was, dude, but it was looking in the window. It had a long nose that hung down. It had 2 big eyeballs that almost touched each other. It had really crazy hair on the top of its head. It hung down, and it had its head smashed against the window, but it didn't have no bottom jaw. It didn't look like, just a top jaw with teeth. That scared us so bad, dude. We didn't know what to do. We didn't want to leave because we didn't want to go outside. We didn't have a phone, but we did have 2 guns down there. I had my 45 and I had my SKS. So we finally made a run for the car and got out of there. I don't know what that was. I have no idea.
That's scary.
Yeah, scared me.
I'm thinking that might be like a possible off the Epstein files or something, for the purpose of remember seeing underground tunnels that they had. One of those files shows that they had these certain type of creatures they bioengineered to grow or something like that. And I think one of them looked kind of like that. It's hard to remember.
You're talking about the long nose.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Did it look
Yeah.
like it had? I remember.
I'm trying to remember where we saw that recently, but yeah, there was something that I had never seen one, but I mean, it literally had a very long nose, and a lot of these statues and stuff, they you know them by their nose, and a lot of the statues they took these noses off, and that's why we don't know them. But some of them had these real long nose, very long, maybe 3 or 4 inches. Big noses, and I know you don't see much of that in art or stuff. But
well, the description you're showing is kind of like the Rothschilds. They had like this mask, or they actually had a being. I don't know which one it was in the picture. It looked pretty. I don't know, but it had that long nose. I remember seeing someone having a mask on, or it could have been the actual creature.
I remember seeing those masks on something too.
Okay, right.
That's scared us
too. I don't know.
It terrified us. There was stuff that happened down there that was just unexplainable. I have no idea what some of that stuff was. So,
is that Oklahoma area?
Yeah, it was at my granny's house, probably 7 miles from where I live now.
Right. They kind of back up 1 second to the Bigfoot wars. I mean, there's stuff that I know that have found out that Chaz, that area there, they a lot of children went missing, and so and such and such, and there was a war, and it was like you said, most of the stuff that got blamed on the Bigfoots, and that's one thing a lot of people don't know is it runs pretty hot in that area, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of the Bigfoots don't want anything to do with humans, because they want out of this mess, because they're the ones that are being blamed for a lot of the bad things. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, because I mean we're all bad about just saying, there's Bigfoots instead of there's orgs and there's other things, and so, but I know in Oklahoma, in that area, like I said, there is so much going on as far as cryptids and what's good, what's bad, who's good, who's bad. It's you guys are living through a lot of, like I said, they have wars because of the amounts of children being taken. Right.
Yeah, they were. Whenever the Indians, they kind of got together and got their best soldiers, warriors, and they rode in there to take care of them. And they said that when they had rode in there, the smell was so bad, the horses didn't even want to ride in there. And they ended up finding this huge mound of rotting people. And, before they could do anything, one of these things comes running out and just levels a horse, man. Just knocks the horse out, knocks the horse down, and then kills the guy that's on the horse. And then they start shooting and fighting. And these things are more of grabbing people and like pulling them apart and pulling heads off. And it's a massive fight. It's a hell of a battle. But, when I talked to the shamans, whenever I'd done the Girl Scout murders case, and I spoke to the shaman, they pretty much reiterated the same thing. They said, we know them better than anyone. And I said, why do you know them better? He said, we lived with them. We traded with them. They spoke our language. We knew them as a tribe. And he said, they got to where they were jealous of us, and they would take our women, and they would, try to have babies with our women. And they would take the children. And finally it got to the point to where they weren't just doing it to one tribe. All the tribes in that area, they were taking their women and children and not even consuming all of them. It's like they would take them and eat the best parts and then throw the rest in this pile that they had out there. So they were getting really greedy. So they were like, we're going to have to do something, or we're not going to have any women or children left. So all the tribes decided, you know what? we're going to have to at least band together to get rid of this common enemy, because they were sneaking in, their camps at night, reach underneath the tent or whatever, grab a child, they were gone, or a woman or whatever. So what they told me when I visited with them, I thought this was really, really, really important. If you're a boots on the ground investigator, they said, you're safe if you're not in the trees. I said, what? They said, if they get after you, don't be in the trees, be in the open. And I said, I always felt better in the trees, instead of, because in the open, I feel exposed, because in my line of work, we were taught to seek cover when something would happen. You go to the trees, you go to cover. But with them, it's opposite. And I said, why would it be opposite? And they said, the reason is back before white man was here, the Indians could only fight them with bows and arrows and, hatchets, smaller things, which they didn't stand a chance. They got their ass handed to them, they said. So when the white man came, he said they brought their magic sticks, their guns. So when the white man used the guns, the Bigfoot learned, we're not safe in the open no more. The white man has the advantage, because the white man was killing them in the open. They were fair game. The exact words the shaman told me, they killed them like they killed the buffalo, because they were in the open and they were easy. But then he said the Bigfoot got smart. They took the fight to the trees, because they're faster, stronger, and he said they are able to change as the leaves change from season to season, like a chameleon. And he said when they're in the trees, they also are hard to hit with guns, because they have trees between them that block the bullets. It makes it more of a personal battle. And that's why the white man could not beat them in the trees. And he said, and that's why Bigfoot today live in the trees. They're not in the open, because they know that's where they're safe. So that was pretty cool, when they told me that.
Yeah,
It is pretty cool.
And like you said, though, what we got to do is make sure we ain't talking about the orgs and the other things, because that's where, I know the Choctaw, and the Choctaw, a lot of them are very much, they are hunting, killing, and trying to get rid of real monsters. But they also, you can't just, paint any race of human or any race of anything as all wrong, because it's just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But messy stuff back then. I can understand, man. I would be shooting anything that came near my house. I don't care if it's good or bad. I'm going to shoot it. At that time.
Well, would the Bigfoot go after the white man because the white men slaughter out the buffaloes, right? Would they have like a dispute against that?
Yeah,
right?
against anything going against. Yeah, if you go against nature, then you're going to have problems with them, because you're like, hey, you're taking out my food. Now I'm going to come after you. So yeah, like I said, the wars and the double crossing was just horrible.
Who knows what started the first stone? Who knows who got the first child? It's like,
yeah.
Oh crap.
Well, the thing is, we had the British actually funding the Indian at one time to go. I mean, this has been so much double cross, and another double cross, right? It's slimy. That's why we're at. That's why we're in a situation we're in now. So much slimy politicians.
Well, you look at too. There was a girl in Oklahoma that was murdered, and her dad wrote on her her headstone, "Murdered by werewolves" or by wolves, and they changed the story around and said that it wasn't a werewolf; it was a guy that had done a botched abortion on her. So it's almost like all through history, people were trying to tell the truth, but there was always somebody there hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like you said, well, was it a dog man? Was it a werewolf, or was it a vampire?
Yeah.
And I mean, we've had a case here in Tennessee where they said that they eventually said it was dogs that tore this girl apart. But we're like you, the original story, dogs wouldn't have done what happened. And of course, they put a gag on the doctor. And it's just, like you said, you're like, really? So we'll never find out again. But that could have been. I believe there's werewolves. I believe there's
Yep.
vampire, and I believe there's dog men. And I don't know which ones. I don't think vampires are good, but on the other hand, I've never met one.
I have no clue with any of them.
I believe George Bush is a vampire, but
supposedly.
This is, but like you say, that's people that would want the blood and need the blood.
Right.
And are they using the Bigfoots and whatever creatures that they have to get children and take it to their caves, their tunnels, and then they are able to take the blood and such, or give it to
that's the theory behind it is they actually keep them, and they're like have a gate and they control them, and they open that gate because they don't even get near them, and they run out and they'll grab kids, and when they bring the kids are so scared they won't scream, so you send this ugly monster in, and the kids can't scream, and then they take them back, and when they get back, this creature gets rewarded by the government or the people that want that kid, that want that blood, as we're finding out through the Epstein stuff, that a lot of people want these kids for their blood. And that ties into that theory.
Having adrenaline blood type of stuff,
Santa Claus, the bag and the
how many years?
The red suit.
It's always about the kids.
Right, it's always about the kids.
Yeah, taking innocence.
What about the cartoon, Monsters Inc.?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They needed the kids, the scarier the kid was, the more they got for the scream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. More red line goes up on the yellow tube, the red line goes up. Blood.
Right.
I mean, Halloween is when we go out and scare the crap. And I don't know how many kids go missing on Halloween, And like I said, it's pretty much but scaring and getting the blood supercharged up. And like I said, there is definitely humans, non-humans, ETs, cryptids that are taking humans.
Yep.
That's like almost fact. Now I don't think it's conspiracy anymore.
And I think once they get a taste of blood, kind of like the vampires, possibly just can't stop. And
you can't blame them too much. You've been to Walmart lately. I'm going to have to maybe get a second job as a vampire or something so I can get some nutrition.
Not a bad idea. Can't get a good pork around here.
I can't get a good burger anymore.
Big Mac's not serving me well, and they get the real one at Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's all been a lie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The illusions are lifting. The veil is lifting, right?
The old man veil is going to retire. I'm kind of seeing that, and it's slowly, it's happening. Like I said, some people are able to see right now. There's plenty of people that, like you said, that one day you can see these small people. And, I believe all these people because I'm like, well, this is amazing. But it's just right. Each one of us has our different abilities to see.
Yeah, each one of us sees in a different vision. Like I was looking at this one video. There's this cat and a turtle on a little skateboard. And it was interesting because the turtle will zoom right in front of the cat, and the cat doesn't even recognize it's in front of him. But the cat knows that the turtle's in front of him. I'm like wondering, is the cat having heat-sinking eyes but doesn't see the heat signature off the turtle? So that also puts another paradigm in my head. Is like, is that the same for everybody? And the different perspectives. Like, does some people see IRF light? Does some people see heat signatures? Does some people see different auras? Like there's all thing kind of true. It's just what does everyone have?
Well,
different.
Let me back up to your cats now. See, all you cat lovers out there, cover your ears. You notice that. Yeah, cover your ears. The domestic cat has the slitted eyes, whereas the big cats don't.
Mountain lions.
Okay, mountain lions. All your big cats don't. And that's me joking, okay, this is all joking. Don't get mad at me, but I've always said that the cats were made by the Egyptians for us to serve them. And I'm not saying they do, but it does seem like it. And then another thing I've always said, I'm joking, guys, that cats, they'll disappear for 3 or 4 days. That's because they go back to their ET buddies and tell them what happened. And then another thing about cats is that if you play Egyptian music, most of you cat lovers are going, I'm never going to do. If you play Egyptian music, watch your cats. You'll be like, uh-oh, Jim's right about something here.
Now I'm going to play Egyptian music for my cats.
Yeah, if you play Egyptian music, the cats go, they know.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah, right. Try that one. Let us know. I'd love to hear that.
I'd love to know. That'd be crazy. I don't want it to be true. But
And they'll also eat you.
Only if you're dead.
Yeah, but they don't wait. Once you're gone, they start eating.
Yeah, once you're dead.
A dog, they said, a dog won't do that. That's why I'm like, I look at my cat a lot different now. I'm like, when you bite me in the mornings when I'm asleep, are you playing or are you trying to see if I'm like dead?
If you're edible yet.
He's still alive.
My cats do that too.
There you go.
Yeah, we
Wait a minute, y'all cats bite y'all? Mine too.
Yeah.
They've
My
never
cats
bit
bite
me.
me to wake me up to feed them.
Yeah.
There you go.
We don't have a cat right now.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So here's your next video that you sent me. This is another good one too.
First thing we find is beside our Bigfoot. He looks like we were given a gift. Doesn't look like the human traffic around here. But old Bigfoot, he brought us a gift, or the forest people brought us a gift. Alright, we just had to talk about this. I mean, if you would, a mile out in the woods and up to a secret place that no one knows about, and you've been leaving gifts, and then you walk up there and there's he set it right by our little Sasquatch rock. I mean, we've been giving them apples and stuff, the little people, and put it right by the Sasquatch. It was either a salute to the Sasquatch or possibly the Sasquatch gifted it. There was no other activity up there.
This one here, that is what you see. It's upside down and it's straight up. And of course I can't get it up there, but it came from probably this tree here. Yep.
So is Maker's Mark a good whiskey anyways?
Well, hold on. I'll tell you, there's weird stuff going on with all this, dude. Everything is there a coincidence, right? We're starting to realize there is no coincidences. I had been studying, dude, I was studying something about genetics of black people and being original and
Sickle cell
blood, and I can't remember. It was that far back, and at that time, I had kind of in my mind think I'd figured out Maker's Mark. So, I mean, that's a part also of this whole thing, and so as you can see, I mean, we have it here. Of course, we don't drink it or anything because it's, we were, and you can see it's got the same amount and everything in it. Mm-hmm. And, but there was two parts to it. There's the part that has Maker's Mark on it, which is Kentucky bourbon. But so I was trying to figure out, were they confirming to me that you're on the right track on that information that I was studying at the time. And, now as you can see in the video, I didn't know who gave it. I said forest people. I don't know who gave it to us. I didn't, at that time we weren't even techie enough to look for fingerprints. I don't even thought about it.
Right.
This wasn't, we didn't know. We're not professional investigators, Abnormal. We're just total rookies at this. We're not.
No,
we're not.
All we had was little squirrel bites. If you can see on the lid, that's it. Let's see. There's another one. I think there was, but still, it's like very small squirrel bites, and it was already open. Of course, it got drank in some, I guess. Mm-hmm. It still got broke.
but it had been raining that week, and that we went up that morning, and it was sitting there, and the label's dry, wasn't affected. So it was like they knew that we was going to come up, I guess, that next morning, and they put it out for us. It's got that little tear on it. Now,
yeah, paper label.
Now I'll tell you the story behind it, because after it was years after that we started finding that he started talking with Bigfoots and stuff with telepathy and that kind of stuff. But we come to find out that that was actually used by a Bigfoot mom to give birth, and she had to drink some of it for nausea and put it on the baby's chest, kind of like Vicks and stuff that we use for babies. And so that's what we found out. And so it's pretty special to us that we were gifted something like that, because that's like, wow, to us. So
cool.
it's our prized possession, because I'm like, that is so, because we do know who the mother and the child is, and now, but at the time we didn't have no idea.
No, we had no clue.
And it was actually George the Giant that used his finger and his pinky. His hand was so big, he had to use his finger and his pinky to set it down. And to put it, yeah. So we were, that's real special to us. But I know it's like, what? We can't subsidize, we can't prove any of this. This is just what we believe, and
all I can prove is that, well, I can't physically show you, but the only thing I can prove for myself is that I saw one swaying in the tree. That's the only thing I got. Besides all these other things that we got, like paintings and stuff folded and such. It's just like,
yeah. And you can see with the foldings and stuff, there's, like I said, at that time we were calling them the forest people, because I didn't want to say it's a Bigfoot folded this piece of air, because honestly, I really don't know who it was. We don't have no clue, dude. We're totally, I didn't see nobody. I've never seen a Bigfoot. I've never seen a ghost. I've never seen a cryptid. Tina has had experiences.
She felt it, and then felt a ghost, supposedly. She's like, I'm warm on her,
I don't, but, abnormal, he's out there in the woods like once or twice a week seeing all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, you go out there and see all kinds of stuff. We just,
Mm-hmm. For the past few years, we've been kind of like working on the home base here, trying to get our stuff fixed up and such. So that's why we really haven't been back in the woods too. It's because a lot of other projects had to get tuned up,
Herbert wants to know if y'all have ever been to Land Between the Lakes.
No, that's over there, like
just a little west.
Yeah, west Tennessee, and there's a lot of people go out there. I know a lot of people. I think I've seen a couple of people in the chat I knew.
Paranormal Paul, but
Tebow, or there's a whole bunch. I see a few people there in the chat on T-Bone. There's a few people in the chat that go to that, and they go to. It's kind of like near Alabama, Talladega, that area between. I think it's up through Tennessee and Kentucky, but it's very, very lots of cryptid. So that's the kind of place you would go, Abnormal, because there's just so much activity. Right, it would be fascinating, and they do. They comes to their campsites. I mean, the places we go down near Georgia. So they're like what we call them boogers. They're a little smaller. They run around. They play with things. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with the Land Between the Lakes where they're seeing orbs and ET stuff and things that I'm like, dude, this is just my mind. There people are into. They see a lot more stuff between the Land Between the Lakes. That's definitely a real popular thing to do.
And if I remember right, the state of north of Alabama, I think, if I remember right, there was some dude, some guy named something, I forgot his name, on YouTube, and he had something, there's a national forest, and he's working with the government, and they get mutant out of the labs, and they let them free in a fenced-in area of North Alabama, and I wonder if they're releasing them, and they're running north.
Yeah, because we have a video where we found, I forget how many tarps.
9 abandoned
tarps. And this will be a good one for you to investigate, because you've got the eyes and for investigating. But these tarps, they all had like peeky holes in them. And I swear, well, from a person that we used to know, that could do remote viewing, she said that they were dropped in by helicopters. and they're some kind of mutant program. This is Middle Tennessee, so this is going towards that direction. See, we're not into that, dude. I know where we could go and get in some big trouble. Oklahoma, and I'm just kidding. I mean, I know there's definitely big trouble, and there's definitely a lot more than the natural things running through the woods.
Yeah, natural beings that just wants to raise
Oh.
children and be
But
like
yeah.
a deer in the woods.
But yeah, we got a video where we picked all those tarps up. And it was all different types. It's so weird. It wasn't Boy Scouts, and they were stuffed in between tree stumps and stuff. But she said that they would, from helicopters, drop these mutants. This is when we go off air talking about this stuff. I mean, you won't get a strike. We'll just our mic will start going down or something here in a minute. When you start talking about these secret programs that we're not supposed to be talking about, that's when people get in trouble.
Yeah.
But they would drop them out of trees, and they would fall, and they would break arms and legs, and very, how the government is always trying to muck things up for the humans. It's like that's not conspiracy no more.
Smithsonian's too.
The humans are
hiding.
That's what I said last night. I was talking to people, and I said, I don't know if anybody's recognized, but we're in a war, guys, against things that want to eat us, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's a real reality.
There's something that wants to mess up the humans really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they may start at your feet to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we can't be fighting each other to solve this war. That's usually how you lose in a war, fighting each other. Button heads on left and right politics or whatever in the world.
Well, that's what they need you to do. That way you're not paying attention.
Keep you straight.
And that's why we did that review of Signs. It's just because it's coming stronger and stronger to us that we might get an ET invasion. And in that Signs movie, I'll just say short for people that haven't watched it, or my decode, lemon juice. So some reason I don't think ET's like lemon water, because in that movie they were throwing waters and the ET didn't like it. So everybody stock up on lemon juice and spray bottles. You might thank me later.
When you go into the woods and the Bigfoot's chasing you, spray them with lemon juice. See if that you'd be like, ET. Woo! I got that off the side.
And if it don't work, you're just carrying a garnishment for him anyway.
Yeah, you're gonna be gone.
I'm gonna be running around with a thermal camera in one hand and a bottle of lemon spray bottle in the other. But I'm just gonna be attacking anything that moves.
He'll be like, "Hey Lulu, look, this one came with these own flavors." What is it that a lot of people wear that pouch, for safety? It's got the herbs in it. They'll be like, "Hey, look, we can season this one up right here,"
Right.
Yeah.
Season they got all the seasoning in the pouch.
They come with their seasoning. That's nice.
Today I done a short live. I went underneath the bridge where I've been hearing stuff at night, and Sharon actually wanted me to go look under the bridge. When I went underneath there, I found 2 dead deer, 2 dead coyotes, and a bunch of turtle shells that were ripped apart. Like something's been under there eating.
All right, a troll, an org, a Bigfoot.
That's the Troll Bridge. That's Troll Bridge. That's the one they named Troll Bridge.
Right.
Yep.
But you, like you said, you pray, you stay in your intentions. So that's why
your intentions.
when it's time to leave, and that's what you do. You ground. I guess you can call it grounding yourself, But what you're doing is you're centering yourself, because you're like, I'm protected. I know who I am. And then when you go in, and there's something, it's time. It's time to go. You got that. Well, it's important for you to do that, because you don't want to be dragged into a cave nowhere.
When I go down there, a lot of people ask me, they're like, "Man, you're so brave." I'm like, "No, not really. I get scared. Sometimes I feel like it's okay to push a little further, a little harder, but sometimes I know it's time to leave. It's like, like, I don't know how I know. It's just I can tell when I'm there. I'm like, okay, it's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. But then sometimes it's like, dude, you better leave. You can't get to that car fast enough. You know, it's like, this is bad. And, you know, there's been times I've wanted to run. You know, I wanted to get the hell out of there. You know,
The spiritual forecasting is what I'm seeing. What you're doing, just forecasting in your spirit or your energy in your blood or something. You know, you just feel it, and it's your forecasting. You're seeing the play out of what could happen.
Yeah,
You know,
and bigfooting or footing is a serious sport. You know, a lot of people do have fun, but they need to be with people. If they don't do what you're doing and be connected with Spirit and God and know who you are, so that you can, you know, you know, it is not. It is serious. Me and Matt's been out in the woods like you have, in the middle of the dark, in the middle of nowhere, and it is serious. So we could have been snatched. We could be easily snatched. We could easily.
I don't think the viewers quite understand that. I'm not knocking anybody, but whenever you go out in areas like you've been out into, I've been out into, where it's not civilized yet, where we don't have 911 addresses, where we have little bitty community fire departments that they're not going to find you unless, well, if something don't want you found, you're not going to be found anyway down here.
True.
And I don't think people quite understand that live in the larger cities, that there is still areas like this, because where I go, if something attacks me down there while I'm out alone, there's nobody to help me but me. I'm the only one that's getting me out of there. And if I don't get out of there, there's miles and miles and miles and miles of swamp and lake and open wells that were never capped off. Y'all probably seen the well I went to. That's just one of hundreds. They could stick you anywhere, dude, and they will never find you. And, you know, my buddy told me something the other night that really blew my mind. It really freaked me out. He said their search and rescue dogs are pretty worthless down there because before they flooded that city, there was a lot of oil wells that they did not close off. So sulfur is rampant down there. And he said dogs don't smell good around sulfur and water.
Water. The Bigfoot's traveling through the waters a lot, but that's interesting.
Yep.
Damn.
You know, I don't think, and you know, y'all's probably going to get a kick out of this. I'll let y'all know when I do it. As soon as I'm able to do it and I get some of my other things taken care of and stuff, I'm going to take somebody on a collaboration down in the middle of the lake where I go, and I'm going to take them in the daylight, and I'm going to let them see how beautiful it is and how everything looks. And I'm not going to tell them to pay attention. I'm just going to let them be them. And then when the sun goes down and it's pitch black, I'm going to say, now take us home.
There you go.
That's when reality sets in. Is whenever you start looking to go home and every tree looks the same. Because I was raised down here in these woods. I was raised on that lake. I know that lake and those woods like the back of my hand, but I can still go down there and get lost as hell. When you get in those woods, it don't matter how well you know them. If you ain't got a landmark to navigate off of, you can be screwed really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at nighttime.
A mountain in the distance could be your number one guide out of the darkness right there. You know, anything that's real, physical, big, something.
And now imagine you're down there in the dark, an unfamiliar area. You're lost. Panic is going to set in because you're afraid, you're scared, you're lost. And now think about this. Not only all those things, but now you're being hunted by something that probably knows that you're lost, because I believe these things are very intelligent. So now they could walk right out in front of you and show themselves, and there ain't shit you can do, you know?
Okay, you probably wouldn't even scream.
Oh, no.
Right.
You know,
that would have scared you so bad. I've been paralyzed before where I couldn't scream. I hadn't even thought about screaming.
Yeah. And not knowing your way out of there. not knowing how to get back to your car, you know?
That's terrifying.
Yeah, one of the places we go to, there's no cell service, and there's probably a good reason why there's no cell service. They don't want you to call once you get in that place, and that's deep into the national parks. For some reason they have cell phone everywhere, but you go into the recreation parks. I don't think you might become part of their program.
Yeah.
And then, people get mad at me because they're like, well, sometimes when I watch your live screens, they're pixelated and they're messed up. Yeah, it's called, I got a huge wood canopy over me. I'm not by a city or a tower, so my connection is not that good. I'm in the middle of nowhere. If you want to go watch somebody that's got a clear screen all the time, odds are they're in a place where there's people. When you go where there's not people, electronics don't work that well. A lot of people don't know this. I know y'all know this. Y'all are like me, I'm a hillbilly. When you shine a light, any kind of light, infrared, 2 million candlelight floodlight, when you shine that light over water, that water sucks that light in. That light does not work like it does over land. And a lot of people don't know that. But when you're down there with the cell phone and you get in the middle of the water, and I can show people this. I can take you in my boat. You can get on your cell phone at the boat ramp and you can be talking. I take you out in the water, your cell phone will shut down. You won't even be able to send a text.
That's interesting. I know the pine trees block Wi-Fi. And so if you look across at some of the government agencies, especially the communication stuffs, they're in the middle of pine forests.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about water, but I know pine needles and pine trees are a natural Wi-Fi blocker. They absorb Wi-Fi.
Frequency blocker of some
So-
if you live out in the woods where you got pine trees all around you, you're going to be in pretty good shape. You're not going to get hit by a lot of the radiation a lot of us get hit by.
That's interesting because the government just started a program that they're paying people to clean those off of their land. Have y'all seen that?
No, but I can see why they would. They want to spread that net, right? They want to spread that electric net everywhere, don't they?
They just started. Yep, they started a program now that you can get on, and you can clean those off your property, and they will pay you for doing that. They call it a property enhancement, and they're calling them. They're now. They're saying that they're not supposed to be here. They're bad trees.
And all that. Yeah.
There's actually a guy that has a YouTube channel now that's going around cleaning them off of people's land, so they get paid for it to destroy those trees and to burn them.
Yeah, we had a few years ago. We had the pine beetle. It just totally. I don't know if the government let that beetle loose, but did a lot of destruction.
Smoky Mountains. The pine beetles, the pines, all the pine trees are practically gone in the Smoky Mountains. I mean,
Sharon says she doesn't have signal out there, and like I said, if you walk on the other side of the pine tree, you can probably get out. But those pine trees, they absorb Wi-Fi, I guess you can call it.
Did Nirvana sing a song about the pines?
Who's that?
Nirvana. The pines.
I need to go look in the Epstein files and do some research on pine trees. Everybody can learn that. By the way, anybody doesn't know, go to DOJ and then see Epstein and go in there and you can type anything you want. And by the way, Bigfoot is not in the Epstein files, just so you know.
And if you try to look at some of the photographs that says not found, they said if you will go to that link and delete the last 3 after the period at the end and put MPG on it or MPEG, that you'll be able to see the photo.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I've dug. There's so many. They've only released 500 gigabytes of, I think, 700 terabytes. So you got to go, what? We haven't even released the information yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here's your tree you all found. And I think Matt was pretty excited about this one. I think he liked this.
And it's straight up. And of course I can't get it up there, but it came from probably this tree here. That one?
Okay, it's the top of
Right? But, you know, it's the top of the tree. But somehow or another, it's like that. Okay? Interesting. Could have happened. Matt's first time his chance to look at him, so he's kind of like, what?
I'm catching up.
Yeah. But yeah, that's.
There ain't many straight pieces up there, by the way.
Where did it come from? Over there?
I can tell.
Right? If it came from over there, it got turned down.
One. What?
All right? That's what I'm saying.
How did it felt like that?
Exactly.
I literally got pushed over this way.
Exactly.
So I had to brake.
Exactly. Hole here. Yeah, ain't that neat? I mean, I never could see the end on it. I never could see it. Unfortunately, it was in all that coverage, and of course, the next time we went back, park rangers cleaned it up. They always cleaning up obvious things up there.
Oh yeah.
That make you go unnatural things where you go, whoa, check this out. This is cool. They always have done that.
Mhm.
Did you see it? I mean, I could.
From what? Yes, I do remember me going to the back side because Dad was already walking away with the camera. I'm like, no, I need to take a look at this a little deeper.
Well, there's so much to see there.
There was a lot to see. He got a lot on his mind at the time, so we had to keep going for good reasons because only so much in the day. But I went to the back side of the tree and looked straight up, and there's a certain angle between the trees. You could see it was a root ball that was up there.
It was a root ball.
There
from
was,
what you could see.
from what I could see, there was a root ball that was up there, and that's why I was running back to Dad, and be like, "Hey, put that camera back on it. I got the spot." Like, well, I already cut the camera off. Or going forward,
We walked away. He took a picture of a three-toed thing one time when we got attacked that one time. And of course, I felt like smacking. I'm like, dude, shut up. There's no three-toed. What do you think? Ostrich lives out here in the woods? I thought a three-toed creature. So, you know, at that time, I didn't know there was a Bigfoot or anything. And it was disturbing me, disturbing my comfort level. But he took a picture. He can't find the picture no more. But unfortunately, he did take a picture of the three-toed thing that attacked us. We don't know if we got attacked by a brontosaurus rex or what. We're still. But, you know, when your mind just, I didn't have the open room I didn't have the space in my mind to even consider some three-toed thing is running through Kentucky. I didn't have it at that time. I do now. Now I would do a better investigation, but we have missed so much evidence because stubbornness. I call it hard-headed.
Yeah, I remember it had a track. It had at least 4 or 3.
It was a good-sized three-toed print.
Dang it! I think it had 4 or 3 steps, and I took the picture of the cleanest step I could. And it was as big as my hand, about that big, you know, like there's the bottom of it, and here's its 3 little toes it had, you know. And
I've seen those down here, the 3 toes.
it's great. It's like an owl, supposedly. The only thing I could find is a big-toed owl, and I'm like,
or an ostrich. That thing looked about
yeah.
the size
Then
of
the
an
other,
ostrich.
well, the
or
ostrich,
emu or something.
the ostrich has one big toe hook or something, but it was a big. I can't remember what the other one was.
But I think they say those birds are here. I don't know the names of the birds.
Oh, pterodactyls. What are those dinosaur thing birds?
Yeah, I hear
they have 3 toes and they are small feet. I did saw one of those.
So we might have
bones.
Those birds flying around, and you know
that was flapping its wing above our camp area, and it was shaking the trees so hard that they were knocking together, and it was a weird pattern of how they were knocking.
I just had a guy on my show that was talking about thunderbirds, that he saw a thunderbird.
Right. And that's kind of maybe what we ran into is some type of thunderbird or pterodactyl.
I agree. I don't know.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
I'm trying to keep up with the vril and the orgs and the Bigfoot. I'm like, I can't keep up with everything. The elves,
not even the thing that actually attacked us, for all we know. We don't even know.
Well, how about this one where y'all caught this this howl? I like this one. This is really cool.
Those fun. and you could see the beginning. That was all the crickets and all that, and you could say, well, that might have been a coyote, and I can give you that. But the thing is like you see, all the you can visually see how all the background noise of crickets they all went, and they eventually. If you look to the right, I don't think I shot in the video, but you can see where it starts where they all the crickets and all come back online nice and slow, and they're right
Right.
back to that level. So I mean, that's a visual representative. Whatever that was turned off the bugs.
Yeah.
And that was down in near Georgia. That's down near the Georgia line.
The Coker Creek, Tellico Plains, or something like that. That area. Yeah.
Have you all thought about going to a dangerous spot or no?
No, because I'm trying to get my mind around Bigfoots, and then when you got ETs involved, then you've got there's other things, like land between the lakes. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and I'm not. We've got two favorite areas, and one of them is near Georgia, and it's kind of like playground for the small ones. Now the place we go to up in Kentucky, it is a little bit more chancy because, like I said, that's kind of like where we think a lot of the mutants are dropped off and stuff, and we're a lot more loaded up there as far as protection and a lot more careful. But that's as far as we want to go because we already have enough weird things with ET sounds and cricket things floating by. We had this one. We had this lightning bug, dude. You never seen this stuff like it. We should have videotaped it. We didn't think about it. There was a lightning bug that came on and go flying by himself, and then go out in the woods. You can see him. I mean, what's he doing? And then he'd go swing out way out. Then he'd come back around, go past us, go crawling up to. I'm like, what in the world? And that night, he went through our camper top. We had little windows pop up on us. So he flew through where we were at. I'm still like, you would never believe me if I told you, and then you wouldn't have believed me if I had a video camera. But what the world is that? What was that? A fairy? But it was a light. It was a light.
It was a lightning bug, and it stayed on for a while, and then it cut off,
There
and then
was-
it stays on
There
for
was
a long while.
there was no other lightning bugs.
None.
None.
Well, there was no.
No. That's what
That
made
was
my-
here at the house where I was gathering the understanding. That was the time period. I remember before we did the trip out there,
Maybe
I was
it's fair.
watching lightning bugs coming up the hill. After I get out of the tub, I go outside and sit down, and I saw these lightning bugs. All the lightning bugs does a flight path like this. Let me see my hand. Okay. It does this. They come up, and then lights on, and then they do it again. Lights on, and then lights on. That's what they're doing. And then that night, next night, going up to Kentucky, that one zoom. It was just that one lightning bug.
We sat there at the campfire and watched it. And like you said, we're thinking lightning bug, but for some reason our brain had never come on, even thought about recording it until, we never got no shots of it. But it would go way off into the woods and we'd go watch it go. We just watch it way out there. And we're like, that lightning bug's broke because there's this lights on. It looked like it's real small, like a lightning bug, like a little, might have been a green little bulb, little green.
It was a green one.
He'd go out and we'd watch him. And I'm like, there he goes, way off. And he'd curve around and he'd come back and he would do a bop. He'd pass us right in Kentucky woods, right? You're like, what is that? I should have videotaped. Like I said, it's one of those things where you don't catch the evidence because you're mesmerized or you're like,
Right.
what am I seeing here? And you're trying to calculate. You're not thinking cameras. You're not even thinking cameras.
Definitely for a little insect. Like you wouldn't think you'll be recording an insect when you're out there with Bigfoots and such. So we're like, what is this insect doing?
Yeah.
I'm going to record a Bigfoot, not an insect.
Yeah, we're not here to record bugs.
Bug.
Let me tell you one story though. There was this light out in the woods, right? It was just sitting there. I mean, I'm like, look at that, because we like to go up on new moons because it's so pitch dark. We go where we go, it's so dark. There's no cell phone service. That's how far we go out in the woods because we like that place. And there was this light, and you could see it. He's in the woods, and I see it. And he's over there, and I'm looking at Matt. Me and Matt's like, yeah, and you could see it. We're like, look at it, there it is. And it was sitting there, and it was stationary, and it was in the middle of the woods, a light way out in the middle of the woods, a little teeny light. And so we go up to it, and we're getting ready to cross the road. I'm like, no, dude, nuh-uh, because I'm thinking ET or something, right? And I'm like, no. And Matt's like, come on, let's go. I can see it. It's close to it. And I'm like, no, dude. I'm starting to freak out. So I'm like, no, there's something ET or something. And he's like, you're like, I'm going in. I'm going in. I'm like, dude. I was like, dude, I did not feel it. Anyway, he went in. And sure enough, when he got up to it, it was a lightning bug that was wrapped in a spider web hanging, and its light was on permanent. Wait a minute.
It was.
It
was stuck on. He couldn't turn off. And it was just a little lightning bug.
But he was inside of a spider web wrapped, and his light was on permanent. Just sitting there in the middle of, you look out in the woods, you know how dark you get in the woods, and there's just a little light. But I swore it was like an ET or something. I was like, I didn't go. I was like, I'm backing out. I thought you were going to get taken by ET for chasing lights. Dude. I'm not chasing. And I'm not chasing. When you're going to chase the lights, Mike, if you see a light in the middle of the woods, are you going to go after it, right? I mean, you're kind of like me. I'm like, I'm going to record it and get ready to find my car keys.
I followed one last night, or not last night, but last time, and it was a bad idea because something hit me in the side of the head with a big old stick. So yeah, they don't like you to threaten them either, because I threatened to spank one of them one night, and I got hit in the face. Yeah. So
okay. So let me make a note right here. Do not let Matt and Mike go to the woods together. You two are not allowed to go in the woods together.
Sorry, Mike. We can't go.
You two are not allowed to go in the woods because both of you will be chasing the light.
Dad said it can't come over.
Yeah, maybe you all can come down sometime, and I can take you all down there, and y'all can explore.
He's out already. I could hear it. I like it.
I mean, there's ETs out there, you know. That's another one that no one's really talking about. There's things.
So I watch things come out of the sky from where I live and go down into the trees to where I investigate. And then they leave. You know, sometimes I've wondered, is that the fallen angels? Are they... You know, are they visiting their offspring, their lineage? And so one night I was down there and I was live, and this light, I didn't mean to do this. This was accident. My light that I carry, I had it and I stuck it under my arm because I was trying to throw my rifle around that I had on me. When I had the light under my arm, I hit the button and held it in, so it turned my light on strobe, and I was strobing the sky, and I didn't know that I was strobing the sky. Well, that's a bad idea. Yeah, I don't recommend that. So after it did that, I turned the light out, and I looked, and there was this bright orange, like orb, floats out in the sky over the trees, and it just stops. And then two more come from the other way, and they stop. And it's like they're watching me. So I told everybody, I was on a live. I said, look, there they are. And I started shining it. And when I started filming it, it started flying toward me. But when it did, everybody said my stream cut off, and all it showed was my emblem until it passed. It would not let me film it.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe you. And you brought up 3 points, man. You know, first of all, ETs, the people that are in the chat, I do believe that there is good ETs. I know people that have had good relationship with Pleiadians and other species. So I don't want anybody to think I'm not going to say ETs are bad because, like I said, I've never met one, never been in the ship and all that kind of stuff. And 3 points. The star people, like you said, the star people. It's been forewarned, you know, so you can get in trouble messing with the star people. But like I said, I'm not going to, you know, if you're the kind of person that, you know, you can be friends with certain races. I don't know. You know, that's up to each person to figure out.
Get one of those green laser pointers and like point it at them.
Yeah, right. That's what some people do that, and then and I'm not. And like I said, that's each person take their own chances. You might get lucky, and you might meet Some good ETs. Who knows?
I don't know why. I don't know why they probed me.
I don't know.
Shine a light at 'em.
And I tell you right now, our Bigfoots have always been not with ETs. But recently they're doing some work with ETs. But they have warned us that
he's back off of them again.
He's back off again.
Yeah.
But anyway, but he has told us though, when it comes to ETs, keep more than an arm distance, at least
4 arm lengths of us
away from, because they do put off like radiation or something, or
they might be able to take you in somehow.
They might be able to.
If you can't protect yourself, keep them 4 arm lengths away from you.
So, yeah, you don't want to go up and shake their hands and do that kind of crap. Because, like I said, if they're sliding in and out of dimensions, they're going to have different injury levels. Because as you go into a different dimension, you have to get your heartbeat to that dimension before you go in, or you can die or pass out. So being in touch and getting around with things that are from these other dimensions, which are all right here on Earth. I don't believe they come from. I don't think they're coming from. I guess maybe some of them come from other galaxies, but I believe it's with the dimensions you could travel from here to the other dimensions in a second, because you're going through whatever space and time fabric, whatever you want to call it. But definitely want to keep your space. So we've been learning a lot about ETs as far as trying to protect ourselves. We're not afraid of them. We're going to stand and fight. We're going to board up our house. We're going to watch
signs again.
Yeah, we're going to watch signs again and practice. Get our little copper helmets on.
You just don't want to wake up with one standing at the end of your bed.
Yeah.
Right. What I was saying was like the intentions with your ETs or something like that, for anybody that has good ETs or bad ETs, or you're just having a new experience and it's just like on the spot, you're getting an experience with an ET. I say, be like a Bigfoot. Look at him and sway. Because what I'm saying, why they're doing that is make them do the move, and you'll find their intentions first. Are they coming of good, or are they coming with aggression of taking me or however around you? Let them make the first move before. Well, it depends on the situation. If you can run and make it to the car, go to the car. But,
what was that movie? That true documentary, The Fire in the Sky?
Yeah.
Y'all watched that before?
I have.
It sounds familiar. Fire in the Sky, but I don't think
I'm thinking REO on Wheel in the Sky that's talking about the Zodiac.
No, this is about a guy this guy was abducted.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't in front of his logger friends, Amanda?
Yeah. Yep. Him and like 4 other guys. He was abducted right in front of his friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For his blood type or something.
Checking his blood type, maybe. Seeing what blood he has for his kids.
Well, they need different blood tests for different things, I believe.
Right.
So they, you think they're the ones that's eating us as a meal?
The abductions have been, I believe that probably come out in the Epstein file. The next unload that they unload, that we've made deals with them, and we've allowed them to. I believe that they've come down. Some of them, they're living, I don't know, underground or whatever, and they have to have food. And so, our government made deals with them, and you know how our government betrays us on a regular basis. And so I guess they're continue to still, they're probably hungry, and but we got to get this worked out. They're going to have to eat pig.
Eat some pigs.
They're going to have to eat sausage. They're going to leave my family alone. That's just waiting on me.
Sausage and bacon.
They can go to McDonald's.
Talk to
me. Exactly. Get them some human meat.
So let's see. We got another one. I don't know what this is. Let's see. It's the one that unlabeled.
Right. Ain't that amazing? So this is basically a gift he gave Matthew and me, because I was here when he said it. So he said, and you can see how they just touched the road, like, right on the edge, right? Now, that's supernatural event. Look at that. I mean, it's supernatural.
Lo and behold.
Ain't that
That
cool?
was a good bin.
Yeah, we had been up there a week or two before, and we were coming across these big boulders, which you could see Matt was standing up there, and he said, "Wouldn't it be cool if they could bend this tree?" And then he shimmied down that tree, and we went back to our campsite. All right, so then we go back 2 weeks later, and they
And they
did it.
did it.
They did it, and so those are the signs that told us,
Wow.
yeah, that's what brought us really into the forest people, I guess you could say, is that, wow. If you
That's
go out and
cool.
appreciate them, be cool, be good, be good hearted, they do show you that, hey, they do interact, you
Yeah.
know. And
I have
so
been.
yeah,
Let me see if I can draw a photo for you. I've been finding this in the woods,
giant tree.
and I don't know what it is, but they'll have a stick up in the air like that. Whoop, wrong way. And it'll have a circle at the top of it. They'll like take roots or vines, and they will make a circle at the top. And I've been seeing a lot of those in the active areas and also on the ground. They'll take the roots and they will loop them up. There'll be loops. I see a lot of those in the active areas also. And a lot of tree breaks. I see a lot of tree breaks. And another thing I've noticed, tall trees, like your bigger trees, middle ways, they'll have bark missing, like something is landing on them big and then crawling up, not from the bottom up, but landing middle ways and then crawling up. And another thing I've been noticing, the limbs that are bent over, like what y'all were looking at, I noticed at about the mid break of that bend, there will be damage to that tree right there. Like two hands have grabbed it or manipulated it. Now the larger trees that I've been looking at, which be about like an L, where they bend them like an L, I've noticed that they are markers that either point down a trail or they're pointing toward the water. I do believe that they're using those the same way that the natives used them to show trails or how to find water. The well that I just found lately that I was trying to investigate before all these idiots started fucking around down there, and I couldn't go down there because of human interference. People were just being stupid. It really ruins an investigation, but that well had so much to offer because there was a lot of trees that were manipulated in that area. And one night when I went down there, I don't know what this is. This is one of them times when I don't know what this was. And we're going to do a show, and I'll send you all the link because I want you to see the show I'm going to do on this, because this, I'm going to tell you the truth, this really has bothered me. I don't think we've even talked about this. I'll talk about it a little bit now. When I first found the well, I was walking to it on a live, and as I was walking to the well, everything I think was pretty kosher, pretty regular night. As I come up on the well, I started feeling like if you're, it's hard to explain. Like when you're a kid and you have this one guy in town and you know that you're not supposed to go on his lawn or you're not supposed to trespass, but you do it anyways. And that feeling you get like, oh God, I shouldn't be here. He's going to catch me. I started kind of having that feeling like I didn't belong. I was trespassing. I shouldn't be there. And the more I tried to push to the well, the harder it was to make my body go. My body didn't want to go, but I was doing a live and I knew everybody wanted to see it. So I was pushing beyond what I felt was safe. And I got about halfway to the well. It felt really bad. And then I got to where I had a visual of the well. I could visually see the well. So it was probably 40, 50 yards from me. And then behind the well, something stands up. And when it first stood up, my initial thought was it was a human. I did not think it was a monster. I didn't think it was a creature at first because of what it looked like. It looked like a tall man regular build man, nothing big, nothing like, this big muscle guy. It wasn't that. Just a regular guy would stood up. I couldn't see a neck. All I could see was a black silhouette because it was dark. But when it stood up, the one thing that it looked to me like that was the weirdest, it looked like it was wearing a hoodie that was pulled over the face. And it was the head, the face was looking, the head kind of like down to where I couldn't see the face for the hoodie. And there was a point on the back of the hoodie. Well, my first immediate thought was that was a human. So y'all know I was an investigator. That's what I did when I worked. As I was moving out of there, I was also on the SOT team, the Special Operations and Tactics. So I was tactically moving out of there. And as I was moving out of there, my mind is still running. And I think, okay, you start making sense of it, right? You start rationalizing. And as I'm rationalizing, I'm like, that's not a human. And the first thing that told me that's not a human was the height of it. This was probably 8-9 foot tall. And the reason I know that is because the well that has the rock around it, it's approximately 4 foot. And this was over twice as tall as that because it was standing behind it. It started to follow me. Now, after that incident, a few shows after that had happened, I was doing some shows, different locations, not the same location. There was a show I done where I was live, and a lot of people were bothered by this show. It sounded like something grabbed a coyote probably 50, 60 yards from me in the trees.
Yeah.
You could hear this coyote screaming for its life. There was no doubt this coyote was being killed. And you could hear whatever it was killing this coyote. And everybody's witnessing this with me on a live.
Yep.
Amanda was on the live. She said it was very disturbing.
Yes.
And you can hear this coyote in tremendous pain. And whatever's got this coyote is moving at an extremely fast pace over hills, gullies, briars, trees. It's having no trouble moving through there, okay? So after this happens, one of my viewers sends me a photo and they say, look what I saw. They didn't even know about the well. Standing in the darkness is that same thing in a cloak. Okay, so another show comes up. So the next show comes up. This is scary as hell. I got to give credit to Sky. She found it. Dude, when you watch this, I'll tell you what, it's going to scare the hell out of you. It scared the hell out of me. I don't even want to go back to this place, to tell you the truth. I'll push things, and I'm not, I've been known to not be so smart, but I really don't know if I want to go back here because what she caught on that video was a photograph of a witch. That's the best way I know how to say it. A witch or a demon. And it's not like one of those where you have to guess, like, oh, is that what when you look at these photographs, she has her mouth opened. She looks evil as hell. And ever since that well, she has been showing up in my videos now, my lives. I don't know why she's following me. She just seems to make an appearance. It's not like she's in the whole video bothering me or, doing something. she just kind of makes a cameo, right? She just makes sure she's there. You know, I've heard her talk one night, and yeah, New England, we're going to do that. She sounded okay. So I was at this place alone at that bridge I go to, and I'm walking, doing the live. I'm probably 200-300 yards from the car. I'm out in the woods by the creek, always by water, by the creek. And plain as day, I hear my mom say, "Mike, time to come and eat." But it was down toward the creek. It was enough that it sounded like my mom that I turned and looked. It caught my attention, and a part of me wanted to go toward it. It was very convincing until your mind rationalizes and you say, "That's not mom. Mom's at home."
Mm-hmm.
So today, when I went under that bridge down there, when I saw those dead carcasses and all that kind of stuff, I seen something that really caught my attention, and I filmed it for everybody to see it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a round rock laying down there. Something made a cross in that rock, down in that rock, and had it placed underneath that bridge. And you know, when you're in the woods, you know things that are placed and things that are out of order that don't belong. And I knew that that didn't belong. But here's the thing. When I turned, okay, so I'm starting to believe that your best weapon in the field, number one, is the protection of Jesus Christ. But right behind that, you know what I believe your best weapon is, honestly, is a recorder. Because I have noticed whenever I'm out, like today in broad daylight, I was not as cautious as I normally am because I took the daylight for, I was just, it was daylight. I wasn't afraid. So I wasn't as cautious. I was still armed and I was still looking around, but just not as cautious. Well, I ended the live before I got to my vehicle. And before I got to my vehicle, I started walking through the trees and stuff to get back to my car. Wood knocks immediately. Pow, 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 pow. And I was like, what in the hell? Yeah, four. And I was like, what? So I turned around and I hear this, like a like a big breath that came out. And I was like, what the, So I turn around. I can hear this breaking the limbs coming toward me. It's not walking away from me. It's not paralleling me. It's coming at me from deep down in the creek. So I wasn't too far from the car at that time. I was probably 5-10 yards from the car. So I went ahead and pushed up to the car. But what I done, and I noticed this made a difference, I made a phone call to Sharon. I made a group call to Sharon and Nancy and everybody, right? As soon as I made that call and I started using my phone to like I was showing them, what I was looking at, I did take pictures. I haven't looked at them yet, but I did snap photos before I made the call real fast. I took photos real fast. So I may have caught it, may not have, but I made that call. Excuse me. But I acted like on the call that I was filming. Soon as I started filming, it immediately stopped coming at me and totally turned around and went the other way faster than it was coming at me and went down below the creek bank. And when it went below the creek bank, I heard like a big pop, like a big snap. I heard it hit the water and then it was dead quiet. But here's the thing. Everybody heard this. The crows were going crazy. I mean, the crows down there where that was at, they were so loud, so intense. I've never heard them like that before. It was crazy, dude, for daylight.
Yeah, for daylight.
Dang.
I know you like crumbs, and I got one on you was talking about had a hoodie. You got something too. I would, because on the hoodie, something that you keep in the back of your mind, 'cause it could be something related to this. The hoodie, a lot of times, is a robe. And for example, right, a lot of times, like I'm going to use reptilians, for example, queen, all that kind of stuff. They have to wear a robe because, like a werewolf, when they change back from a human back into their true reptilian, because if they get to smell the blood, they'll be like they're trying to hold their crap. They'll flip back into their reptilian body, and if they're in clothes, it'll just rip them clothes, just like a werewolf. It'll rip them apart. And so in that case, there, you're saying a hoodie, and I'm like, that sounds like a shift changer because they will wear robes because when they shift, they can't wear clothes. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, so
that makes sense.
I'll share a story with y'all that I haven't shared many times, and I don't know if I've even shared it socially. So,
well, can you hold for a second?
Sure.
Because I don't want to jump off to the next story. Because what I was saying was like, did you went back to that well that you saw him originally? Have you ever went back to that spot?
Yeah, I've been back probably 5-6 times.
Okay. Did you saw anything at the bottom of that well? Anything interesting?
At the bottom of the well, it's actually that well. When you look down it, it's probably 60, 70 feet down. It's a really deep well, and there's water at the bottom, and there's like a big limb that's in the water that comes like up the well a little bit.
What I was thinking is it's traveling in and out from down there, and some of y'all's wells out there might be underground connected.
Yeah.
So you got some runners under the ground like that. And what I was saying originally was like a Bigfoot that did the roar. I was assuming in my vision of what I was seeing when you're telling the story was he was trying to get you to go back and try to help him out. But I'm like, hearing the crows, I'm like, no, that was a pure setup. So that still is lingering of that hood man. And that's what I'm going to call him, a hood man. I don't know. But like, that's what I was originally catching. But I don't think that was a Bigfoot. I think that thing was like what you're pulling out. It might be like a Winnebago, not the RV or anything, but.
Right. Well, I had it scream at me one night. That thing screamed at me like a banshee. Scared the hell out of me. Bad. I mean,
the Fort Knox's got us confused because we kind of with
never
Bigfoot.
Heard that.
No, never heard of Fort Knox from Bigfoot. Usually it's 3
or 2.
Yeah, 2. Well, it's kind of like 1 is like we're in the woods. Redelia here. 2 is like hello or whatever. 3,
I remember you.
Yeah, there's people in the woods. And then 3 is like danger, and then 4 must be 4 must be run. I mean, because I thought 3 was war, basically. And so when you say you got 4 knocks, I mean that's not our normal Bigfoot numbers.
That was,
and it was super loud, dude. It wasn't like the pop, pop, pop. It was like pow, pow, pow. It was echoing, and I was down there a week ago. And I filmed this. I got it on film or nobody would believe it. The big old dead tree, the only dead tree out there. There's this big old dead tree. And I was walking out there. And all of these turkey vultures landed in that tree. And they were watching me. And normally they'll run when they see you, they'll fly away. But they were watching me. And I even said on the film, I was like, I'll try to get closer and see if I can get, a better recording of them. And as I walked over there, they never flew away the whole time I was there filming them. So I found out something pretty cool. A family member reached out to me, and, I'm Cherokee. They said that I come by the Cherokee, the Bird Clan, that's the clan of Cherokee that I am. So I got to wondering, Is that why I see so many crows and like owls and stuff? Because the other night when I went to my car to leave, you remember, see, it's been like 2 weeks ago probably. I went to my car after I done my investigation. There was a feather stuck in my door, like a big old feather was stuck in my door seal, and there was an owl sitting on top of my car, dude. I got a photograph of it.
Whoa.
An owl?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, that fucking crows, I assume, might be like the Bigfoot, especially. I'm still hopping back and forth.
Well, the thing is, that owl could have been a Bigfoot because they, like I said, I think they do borrow bodies. So Bigfoot's different. I think they borrow bodies. They put their spirit. They ask permission. See, they're not like a lot of things. They'll ask the owl, "Can I get a ride?" They'll ask the coyote. They like a tree. They'll have to ask the tree too before they go into it, because if they don't, a lot of times the trees won't let them back out, and then they're trapped. That's why everything. It's Jesus taught that you put the spirit in a body, and then you kill the body. It's how you get rid of those demons, right? For example, and a Bigfoot, if a Bigfoot goes to a tree, it doesn't ask. The tree could just like, well, you're stuck with me until I die, and it will go down with him. But so Bigfoots are a little more smarter about that. And I'm trying to get them crossed off. Nope,
yeah, that owl, dude. When I walked up there, the feather was in my car. The owl, the little luggage things you have on top of it's on top of my Durango. I don't know what they're called, little plastic deals that run across. He was sitting on that, and when I walked out of the woods toward my car, he flew off the top of my car right over to the fence post, and he sat there and did not leave. He watched me drive away. But here's the thing. When I was in there that night, everybody heard it too. I was walking in the woods, and on my right-hand side, it sounded like a woman started singing, like real high-pitched singing. But it went started over here, and it circled me real fast, the singing. It had to be in the air to do that. I don't know any other way it could have done it. But it was singing as it circled me, and then the next thing I know, I take one to the head, dude. Boom. I've been hit in the head 3 times out there.
Well, you made me think the birds. That if I could borrow an animal's body, I'd borrow a crow, because crows can mimic. So it might have been a crow that had borrowed that night that went by you, whatever had borrowed that crow.
Mm-hmm.
And the feather symbolizes this. What we understand is, like the Egyptians, your soul is balanced. And so when you find a feather in the woods, when you find a feather in the woods, that's kind of like them telling you that you're balanced. That's good. You got a good heart. And so that's what we kind of recognize it. So having the feather and the owl visit you, I think that was something good, some kind of good messaging. Don't you?
Yeah, the owl part has got me questioning, because I'm trying to remember our owl that we saw twice or 3 times, and I can't remember one of my best friends. He passed away in the middle of summer this past summer, and that was the same time period where we saw the owl. But I'm I don't know if it was we saw the owl, then my buddy passed, or was it my buddy passed, and then it was an owl, so the owl was a message to be strong, or something to that effect.
Yeah, and I haven't followed those. A lot of people believe that if you see an owl, there's a sign of a death or something. I don't follow that. It's just something I think it's interesting tale. So we had a cardinal. We were sitting backed up in my truck, and we're sitting there, and a red cardinal flew down. We were sitting in my truck. I'm just driving parked, and he landed right on the wiper blade and looked at both of us. And at the time, I felt like it was my father-in-law, which was a Georgia Bulldog. He went to Georgia. He lived in Georgia, and I felt it was him. But like you said, that bird came and sat there and flew off. And then the other day, me and Matt was sitting in the garage, and a cardinal flew into our garage, landed on this little wire between us, 2 of us. Matt's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "That." And so luckily we have cameras running in our garage. So he went back. He had to go review the camera, and we called it. A cardinal flew in And so, like you said, but we don't have crows here. That's the neatest thing about our property. I don't know. We burn tobacco here and bless the land. I don't know if that's it, but our neighbors right over here, they have crows. We never have crows, and we don't. So there's a lot. There's a lot to wonder about the birds.
Very.
Yeah.
The birds,
Okay.
the crows, they fly above our property. They leave. They don't land
We have-
on our trees.
we
They
have-
land
we
all
have-
around us.
We were working today up there, and a cardinal and the red cardinal and his girlfriend. They landed in a tree. We talked to them. Said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" They stopped and landed and basically talked to us.
Watching
But
us.
that's
looking at us.
what we get. But
Yeah.
there's a lot to do with the birds to pay attention to. I'm not sure what all that means, but
You know, there was a time, and I tried to ignore this growing up because I didn't want to believe it. I'll tell you all the story, and you tell me what you think. So I told y'all everything that went at my granny's house. Everybody knows we had so many different things down there, and everything that went on. My mom saw a werewolf, is what she called it. She said the only way she knew how to describe it is it was a werewolf. To this day, my mom had the closest encounter to it. They all believed that it wanted my mom. She was the one they worried about. She said the closest that she could describe it as to looking like something was the movie Silver Bullet. She said that's the closest that it looked like, but she said not exactly, but if she had to pick something, that would be one of the closest werewolves that it looked like. She said she's never seen anything that looked, exactly like what she saw. So one of the things us kids would do in the summertime, and we thought it was cool to do, was the grown-ups would sit in the house and visit. And we didn't have an air conditioner. We were a poorer family. We were, country and redneck, and Grandpa was a logger, and we lived off the land, right? We lived off the farm. That's just how we lived. And as kids, the grown-ups would visit in the house with the doors opened, and they had a big picture glass window in the front room. They would open it. As kids, we would go down the sidewalk out to the circle drive where the big yard light was at, and we would sit in one of the vehicles that our moms had drove, and we would visit in the vehicle. We'd lock the doors, sit out there and visit and laugh and listen to the radio, whatever. Well, one night I was sitting in the truck with my cousin. We'd heard probably about 30 minutes before that something that sounded like a werewolf howling, and it freaked us out. Well, my dad had let me use his 12 gauge, and it's an old 12 gauge. It's like an 1898 or something like that. It's got the old hammer on it. And I had the 12 gauge in the car with me, and I'm sitting there, and the dog jumps up in the circle drive, and the ears go up on the dog, and the dog starts looking out toward the hog pasture, right? And I'm like, there's something out there. Well, I was young. My cousin was young. We was going to take care of Granny. We was going to get rid of this. So we jump out of the car. We run down into the ditch, looking down the road toward the hog pasture, right? I heard something walking, but it sounded like an animal. It didn't sound like nobody. It sounded like a wolf, the way it was breathing. You know how a dog, like, you could hear it, but it sounded way bigger. So I was like, if you don't come out of the ditch, I'm going to shoot your ass. And I didn't see nothing. I was lying. I said, I see you right there. I can see you. I didn't see it, though. And I was like, I see you. And I just acted like I could see it. And I said, if you don't get your ass out of there, I swear to God, I'm going to shoot you. And I said, on the count of 3, I'm going to shoot you. And I went 1, 2, and I pumped that shotgun. And when I did, the neighbor come walking out of the ditch and scared the shit out of us. And he was like, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. I was just walking home, and the dog got after me. Well, he went home that night, right? So I snuck down to his house. Shouldn't have done it, but I did. I snuck down to his house when he was gone. He lived alone. I looked in his window, right? In his front room window. I peeked through the window. his whole front room was painted black with a white star on the wall. I'm like, this dude is the devil worshiper, right? So while I'm looking in his window, he's got candles on his table, all over his table, right? Here he comes, pulling in the driveway. Dude caught me looking in his window. I took off running, jumped the back fence, ran the pasture home. The very next day, his house burnt to the ground and he moved away.
Mm.
True story.
Well, you made me think, being a werewolf, werewolves have to have robes too because they're shift changers.
Keep their bodies.
Yeah, they
so
have
they
to.
don't-
Right?
A big enough robe too that
they'll have to
covers
have
them.
robes.
And that's
right?
why they get big. They get really big in their robes.
Well, everybody in town, they used to say, like, they would be hunting. I'm not going to say his name because he still lives around here, but they said they would be hunting. And you know what it's like down here? It's in the middle of nowhere. It's swampy shit, right? They said they'd be down there fishing or whatever, and here he would come just walking out of the trees with nothing on but just his underwear. And they'd say, "What are you doing? What are you doing, dude?" And he'd say, "Oh, I'm just hunting, enjoying the weather, or taking a dip to cool off, But his car wasn't there. Nothing else was there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If I was by myself, I'd probably be wild too.
Well, I think his organization didn't like how he was handling it, and so they transitioned him, burned his house down, take him to another location because obviously he was not keeping it covered. Because if he gets exposed, and he exposes a lot more of them, and they do. Their number one fear is being exposed. The Epstein files proving that they're all running on, jumping in the ditch right now, trying to avoid. But
is werewolf in the Epstein files?
I haven't looked for it.
Well,
there's a chance.
He's still around here, and he doesn't look a day older than he did when I was 16. The dude is still in perfect shape. He's got big old muscles.
Yep. Right. And that's kind of the reputation of the purpose of taking the blood of the young is youth and to keep you young. And so it's, practice. It's witchcraft practice or Satanism. What do you want to call it?
I still got the part of me not to judge the person, who knows what happened to him, but besides that, it's like, I wonder if he is becoming a werewolf and he is doing these things. Is he doing it out of good? Is he feasting off of deers, animals instead of humans? He could be like a good, but who knows when someone gets kind of crazy against society and then, who knows?
Matt's bringing up a point that a lot of people don't know is that humans have been taken down, experimented, DNA, chopped, crunched, created, made into some monstrosity. And a lot of those monstrosities, the big thing is they don't know love, so they are just monsters. And so that's the thing is we can't we're in a situation if they don't ever learn love, no one ever shows them love, they'll never change. And so that's always got to be remembered, even though we're talking about some of the things that we would like. No, there's no mercy. There is mercy for everything, including monsters. Because like I said, that's the problem with monsters is they were abused, mutinized. Look, they're making monsters out of our children by torturing them and abusing them and monsterizing them and putting them out here in the world to work. And since no one ever shows them love, they'll stay in the monster state forever.
Mm-hmm.
I just done two videos I bet you guys would be really interested in. The name of them is, one of them was about a guy named Michael Verdon. Michel is how he spelled it. The other one is about a Peter Stubbe. And what I've been finding and this is just the investigator in me, is I have been programmed over 25 years to look for patterns and corroboration. So these accounts really interested me because they are documented accounts in history that were documented. These aren't folk tales that were passed down. These are actual documented, what they believe to be werewolves. The Michael Verdon was a werewolf pack. Peter Stubbe was a single werewolf, and then you had another werewolf named George, which was also a documented werewolf. Well, when you go back and you look, and this is what I found, when you go, and I try to look at it like I would a case, right? Like I'm going to take it to court. So whenever I went back and I looked at it and I started looking for patterns, familiarity, MOs, what I found was, and I thought was unique, is in their transformation, they all made a pact pretty much with the devil. It was, some called him the devil, some called him the Black Rider, but it was pretty much the same pact. Another thing I found that the pattern matched, and this is 15th, 16th century, right? So another thing that I found that the patterns matched was they either used an ointment, a salve, or a medallion to transform. One of them had a belt that was made out of a pelt. They all had an item that was given to them from the devil or from this demon or this entity or this deity, whatever they made the deal with. So those were all very familiar. Now, it doesn't matter what part of society they come from. It doesn't matter if they were rich or broke. They came from both parts of society. I did, however, recognize that they had a problem getting along with other people. They would have quarrels with people in town. They weren't big quarrels, but they were trespassing or just kind of mischief, small deals. They were
mostly hermits.
Yeah, they were hermits a lot of the times. But one thing I found kind of interesting was a few of them had got married. So would that not say that they're capable of love? Now, the love is different than we love because he was going out killing children, bringing them back home, feeding them to his wife, which she said she thought that it was wild game. He told her it was wild game. Yeah. I think she knew. I don't think she could not know.
No, she knew.
Yeah, I think she knew. Now, all of these people were burned at the stake. They were found guilty, burned at the stake, public burnings. But, you know, when you look at the familiarity, right, and I put it to current cases, the 15th, 16th century to the McNeilis case, the Amber case, the Tony Ayres case, to Brenda Hamilton, the teacher. When you start putting it to all these cases and you start looking at it, they match to a T, dude. The strategic way they attack, the stomach being opened up, emptied out, and the organs removed. You know, and this is just an opinion. You're either dealing with one of two things, right? You're either dealing with a family or an organization or a group that deals in cultism that has been taught to do this a certain way, or the more scarier side of that is you're dealing with an eternal person that's just doing the same thing he done back then and he's still doing it today.
Yeah.
Physically bound to the earth instead of being free into the spirit.
So I'm going to run something past you. Y'all tell me if this is crazy, okay? You tell me how crazy this sounds. Everybody's going to think I'm crazy after this. So Here's what I think. I'm going to put it in a nutshell. Okay. Here's your crazy investigator, right? I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Heck yeah, we're there.
So if you're a watcher, right, a fallen angel, right, and you're watching me, I'm a human, and no matter how many times I fall, how many times I stumble, how many times I sin, Jesus will always forgive me if I ask for it. No matter how many times you do it, you're condemned. You're labeled an abomination. So you're going to hate me, right? But then I look at it like this. Earth is a prison planet, right? They were cast here until judgment. They're stuck here. It's a prison planet. But then when the Bible talks about aliens, right? When it says alien, what if this is the alien? We're born through the water. The Bible says that we are born through the water, the amniotic fluid, right? We're born through the water, right? So that is our birth certificate. We are not aliens. We belong here because we were born through the water. Jesus felt that it was so important that you be born through the water that he was born through the water. But now the watchers, the fallen angels, they were cast down here. They were not born through the water, so they are aliens. They don't belong. They don't have a birth certificate to be here. They don't belong. So they were created externally. We were created internally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You made me think. See what there's part of my brain that breaks, and I'll tell you what that part is. Because you broke my brain. But no,
Good.
no. Because I mean, here's one of my parts that break my brain that I have to roll back on is in the Bible. They used to say the sons of God fell, and they changed it to the fallen angels. I think they changed it, and so they broke my brain right there. When they did that, they broke my brain because I'm like, who is the sons of God? So I'm sorry, but I'm broke, honestly, because of that change. That I'm still like, what did they do that? Because that makes me go, it kind of makes me. But what you're saying is, that makes good sense. I mean, it really does. What do you think?
Yeah, you got me thinking about that from your point of view, sons of God or fallen angels. What if they were supposed to be bound here physically for God's will, but
for God's work?
For God's work.
Or it'd be God's will.
God's will. That's what I said, will.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Right. And then God's will. It was to work on it.
Is that why water is that why water is so important to him? Water is the doorway.
Well, how come water destroys ETs? I'm going the other direction now. Sorry. Throw ET like in science, you throw water on an ET. They kind of don't like that, do they?
Because they're not born through the water.
Yeah, I like it. I like your concept. Yeah. Definitely interesting.
And what are our bodies made mostly of?
Water.
Yeah, we are water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I can't get back to that thought. I'm like, why is that?
When you say God's will, I'm like, that means God's work. And so you do make me wonder because I have talked about it and I still am very confused. I'm still very confused when I talk about the sons of God. I'm like, well, they're sons of God. What did Jesus' son of God? Was Lucifer's? Are they brothers? And then I'm like, so I start going down these rabbit holes that I can't get over. Those rabbit holes, I have no way to resolve them because I don't know anything about who's the brothers. Are they all working for God still? I'm like, so I'm real, and they, it's like they said. I remember, I think it was Satan or Lucifer, or whatever. When he came to Earth, he was like a bolt of lightning, and so I'm like, is he electricity? Is he lightning? So there's where I start. That's where I have my calculator's done.
And his tail, his tail wiped down, 1/3 of the angels with him. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, that was only 1/3. Yeah, but what's 1/3 of a million? 1/3 of a trillion.
Yeah, what I was saying about the fallen angels and Son of God, they were doing the work of God, and then they got distracted with the ways of the world. been here lingering for so long on this physical plane that they might have forgotten the rightful ways of doing things because so many other things got in between of everything and everybody. For we know now, even through the Epstein files and anything, just like everything's getting divided, and our civilizations are like, well, what's going on with your civilization? And that civilization is like, what's going on with your civilization? All these fallen angels and gods and such like that. That might be like the Rothschilds following the bloodline, and maybe that's supposed to happen. They are supposed to follow the blood because they're physically bound to the physical world, and their spirit, like us, being through water, we're able to go through the veil of the spirit realm, but they can't. They can't progress through there, so they forget the spiritual lessons that we were supposed to bring to them, but they keep on eating us. So we can't teach them to move on and to help the future. That's what I'm saying on this.
Another add to Mike's point was, if I'm from water, since I'm made out of water, I eat plants. I don't have to eat blood. So you kind of, you're hitting on something there.
Like cows, they eat grass.
Yeah,
Yep.
they eat water.
Deer, they eat grass.
All the natural animals eat stuff that have water in it. Not, they don't eat children, it's babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you're on to something fascinating there.
Yeah.
I thought, because I just look at it as that's our birth certificate. We belong here. They don't.
Yep.
We're the chosen, and that's why he loved us so much. Jesus loved us so much, that he died for us. And if you think about it, how evil that these other things must be, that Jesus covered all of us in his blood, but he didn't cover them. They even asked him. They asked, is there redemption for us? They asked. And he said, no, not for you or for none of your generations. There is no forgiveness.
You're talking about the den of vipers?
Yeah, I think it goes into that. Yeah.
Yeah, see, the den of vipers to me, I can't say this on YouTube, can I? I can't say it because, to me, it's like a bee's hive. There's a lot of them in a lot of foreign countries where people go in and pray. And to me, I'm thinking that might be the den of vipers. That religion, I don't even know what to say. Like I said, I'm gonna get in trouble. I can get in trouble.
Yeah. P-O-P-E. Is that how you spell it?
No, I'm talking about.
Well,
John 3:16 says, "For whomsoever believeth," and we're like, I didn't know, and that's a big question that we all ponder. It's constant pondering. We're all pondering the same questions. Same the question you're like, are they Nephilim? Are they fallen? Do they have the blood? And that's a whole thing we're going to ponder for I don't know how long until we ever come to that, ever resolve the truth about that. But I do know John 3:16 says, "For whomsoever." It doesn't say, So I think if anybody comes to love, then they could be saved. That's just from what I see there. But a lot of the other questions, I definitely, it's all opinion. Don't have the manipulation. My problem has been the manipulation, the hiding of Enoch, the hiding of many of the verses, the changing when I go back and I find out King James Version, I find out more about what happened and how that got, so it starts getting me mad at the constant changing to make things better for, Jesus never had a church, and all this other stuff. And he never wrote a single word except he wrote in sand, and so, I'm like you, and I think everyone else out there we're all in a storm of information trying to wade through it and what's true and what's lies, right?
I think when he wrote in the sand, I thought that was a pretty powerful deal. I think what he was doing in the sand is whenever they started saying, she's broke the law, and the punishment for that law is death. And they were telling Jesus, this is the law, like Jesus didn't know the law. And I think whenever he wrote in the sand, he was simply saying, without saying verbally, he was metaphorically showing them, you think I don't know the law? I wrote the law with my finger and handed them to Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how they felt when he done that. I mean, that was like, wow, the hand of God,
Mm-hmm.
and he's sitting here, not saying a word. He's just looking at you while he's writing it in the sand.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, I'll drop my rock. I'm not going to throw my rock.
Let's see. I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna try to say something without getting in trouble. I'll try to say this without getting in trouble. Any religion that believes in harming another human being or fusing people, and there is religions out there that
Right.
believe in hurting other. I mean, to me, I'm like, I don't. To me, I don't. I know my God's not. My God's not like we need to rule the world and that kind of stuff. Sacrifice others and all that. Well, anyway, I mean, but there is a evil. I would say it's. I can almost name it. What is it? It's over. They call it something. So what do they call it?
I need a little more information.
I mean, they call it. It's see, Iran right now. They're burning down the mosque and stuff. A lot of them.
Right.
They're fighting against to get back from. Is it Islam? I'm not sure what the right word is politically correct and all, but there is. And I lived in Turkey for a year. I lived in a Muslim country. I love the people and all, but the people were not the problem. It's the extremists. There's extreme people that would chop my head off because I'm a Christian, right? And that's just the way it is. And
well,
that's that's religion I'm talking about. There, that's a disease.
Oh yeah,
and that's the vipers that I believe in the Bible.
They said in 2028, coming up 2028, that China will have more Christians than America.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I was listening to that. Yeah, they was talking about that today.
Yeah, Russia's the same way.
Yeah, look at Russia. I mean, some of the laws that he's passed here lately, I agree with. Have you ever wondered this? God, I don't know how to say this either without getting in trouble. So the Bible talks about one world ruler. And United Nations. So the Russian leader said that's what they're trying to accomplish without me getting myself in trouble. But he's not going to join it because he says he knows what it is. And he's dropping a lot of information right now that was top secret, American secrets, and he's now putting it out there. And for all y'all that want to know, just go Google what he's putting out right now and telling you what has been happening here and what they have been feeding us, because he's putting it all out there right now. He's like, I got the proof. I can prove it. So, Grandpa told me this, and I try to live by this. Doesn't matter how bad a man is, doesn't matter how bad a woman is, doesn't matter what they done. The truth is the truth, no matter whose lips it comes from. If somebody speaks the truth, it's the truth. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So, just because you hate somebody or you may not like somebody, it doesn't mean they don't have truth. You should always listen,
Yep.
I lived in Turkey for a year, and this was way before a lot of things that we know now. And I love the people. I would go back. I really do. I miss the people there. The Muslims, they were really great. They did have the Ramadan. They did play the prayer at night and stuff. But when I was in their country, we didn't do Christmas. We didn't do Thanksgiving. We didn't do 4th of July. We didn't do things. That wasn't in America. I was in another country. And,
right.
But I respected and appreciated and, enjoyed the time I was there with But the Muslims, like I said, I love the Muslims. Don't get me wrong; it's the extremists that we're having problems with. But in this country, if you come to America, just like I did when I went to a Muslim country, I respected everything they did. I did not,
Try to
at
convert them.
Christmas, put up a Christmas tree in the street. I did not do things because I was their guest, and it was a wonderful experience for me. And I know that a lot of people that are coming to this country, and they're like, America needs to do this and that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Are we for real?
Right.
People that come into America, if you don't love America, go back to where you came from, please. Just, let's not, don't come in here and try to
Change our
change
values.
America. So but like I said, I've been both sides of the stick. I've lived in a Muslim country, and I love the Muslim people. I adored them. They treated me so good when I was there, and I can't say nothing bad about the wonderful people. But the extreme religions that are popping up around the world, that's got to go. The extremism's got to go. That's kind of like terrorism. Extremism is terrorism. You don't want someone else to live the way they want to. What kind of world are we turning to where people can't live free and everyone do their own thing? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, you take away the rights of somebody else, and you take the same rights away from yourself. You tell someone to cover up their face. Well, you're doing the same to yourself.
I get in debates all the time with other people that's in law enforcement because of my views. So I have a problem with this. So they want to pass laws that take human life away, right? They want to say, like, if you do this, then it's the death penalty, right? Okay, if you have 100% proof that somebody done that, okay. But the problem is too many people are executed because a jury of 12 was lied to by a very good attorney that knows how to twist words, that knows how to make you believe a certain way. And I believe that as long as our legal system has an incentive to pursue charges because they make money by doing it, there can never be truly justice. The only way there can be truly justice is whenever you take out the incentive to come after somebody. Because right now, if say I'm a judge, right? Say I'm a small town judge in a little bitty town. I have 50 people come into my courtroom, say Monday morning, and they all want to put a protective order on somebody. Is it in my best interest to drop those? No. It costs them $150 a year to refile them. That's my pay raise. But when you take that out of the equation to where it doesn't benefit me to approve them, then maybe we can start working toward justice. But as long as you allow people to make money off of the system, there can never be a true justice. The scales will always be like this.
Yep.
Yep, and it is. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be straightened out. I guess hopefully all this information is light coming in to correct. That's all most of us are hoping for, to get fair taxes, fair everything, because it's we're done. If nothing changes, we're done. We all know we're done. If we don't get right, we're done. We're all broke. We're going to be even more broke. But
kind of like what Grandpa said. You're going to spend an eternity in one place or the other.
Yeah. Pick a good one.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's sad too that we've become so easily to condemn somebody. Society is so quick to grab the pitchforks and the torches, and that really bothers me. You know, it bothers me bad because I can't go there. I'll get in trouble. So let's look at your other video.
Okay.
Because
Before you go that other, before you go that video, let me one thought that came in my head before you go that video. There's one word that comes to my head. You were going this way. Let me say this word. I think I'm gonna finish what you were thinking. In a good way, bad way. This way, but maybe Mike's trying to stay out of hot water here. Mike's got more to lose than me. I'm just like, hey, do whatever. Mike's got like a big channel and lots of followers. I'm like, dude, I don't know. 12 people don't want to talk to me no more. But Mike said, but here's the word. I'll say it. Pluralist. There used to be a lot of people do not know this, but there was pluralists that came in, and these people, and I tell you around here, I'm like, well, I'm such a moral person. I don't even like the word moral, but there's a purist movement that really hurt, and it was people that said, I'm better than you, and they had money. They took over our schools. They forced the natives into their belief systems, and so there was a very they did weaponize the Bible. They did weaponize Christianity. I mean, all of us know that now. So
They were evil.
So now we all know, and we have to balance that back out because they have, they've harmed Christianity because they used it as a weapon. A lot of people are like, man, don't get me that going on that. I mean, but that's a word that it's a key word. It's called pluralist, and there used to be a lot of them, and they controlled it. It was usually people with money. Right.
Our whole legal system.
And they built the judges, and they built the legal systems, and they built the tax system, and they ran the banks. And I'm like, oh, how nice is this? The Pope owns the bank.
Buddies all around.
You know,
people are like, hey,
sounds fair to me.
Yeah, it's the legal system is weaponized. And
vault system. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I'll play the video.
Okay, let's play it.
We'll do a Patreon.
All right.
That other picture over there. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, can't really tell the difference on the apples, but what happened was this morning we got up. We went to find the pan. We left a pan on the side of the road. Matt did when he got in the back to get something out. The pan that had the goat in it. And I left my truck in. So we went back down to the falls and picked up the, first of all, the trail cam was sitting, not in a tree no more, but face on the ground. You can leave it sitting there. I'm going to come talk about it in a second. And the pan wasn't there. So we drove all the way down there. But last night, we were pissed because we had one black pan, that one right there that's got the thing. It was inside here. But I know how Bigfoots are bad about bringing things back, or good about bringing things back.
Like Steve.
And so we come back. I come over here to have coffee, and I was having my coffee, and I thought, I bet they brought it back. And I looked over at the time that black one was down here. And I looked over there, and I go, you got to be shitting with me. Matt was sitting in that chair, and I said, look at there.
I thought he was joking.
I said, look at there, buddy. Sure enough.
I had to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the pan out of there.
Yep. So
I actually believe him.
So anyway, yeah, we're like, you're freaking kidding me. Because see, we only had one black pan because we left it on the side of the freaking road. But when we went down, and we picked up our trail cam, this one here, and then we checked the time scan. You can leave it sitting there. You don't have to just leave it. Anyway, we picked it up, and the time stamp on it for the last video was about 9 o'clock last night. We don't have the audio on it, but we'll definitely put it on. Something was handling it. It didn't roll. It didn't fall. It didn't like, oop, boom, there it stopped. No, it came down the hill, somehow or another. We rolled it down the hill 3 or 4 times to see if we can get it. It wouldn't even come down to the road because there's just too much stuff. So something, I picked it up, set it face down the ground, and the screen was dirty and wet, had leaves and stuff on it. So it was face down, pointing into the ground when I found it this morning. And like I said, the timestamp on that, and we had the video. We haven't heard the audio yet, but it's something is handling it. And so anyway, sure enough, we go pick it up, and it's got leaves in it, little, little pieces of pine. This morning, it's sitting here, and it, believe it or not, you can pick it up now. It actually has the gold still in it. That's what was amazing. They carried it from down there all the way back here. Never spilt none of the gold. Trying to get a good shot of the gold, but got a reflection from it. Anyway, that's good. So, yeah, not only did they bring it from the falls all the way up here to Billy's property, but they also, it had little leaves and trash in it, Matthew.
Yeah.
And as you can see, there ain't nothing here, right? We have this one tree here. Okay, so this.
So at least they didn't keep your gold.
Yeah, right.
Lose it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's it, guys. I mean they return it. It's on some of your adventures, Mike. Do some of this stuff. Take like a pocket knife, and when you're walking through the woods, just kind of like reach in your pocket and drop it, like you lost it. And then when you go home, just they'll return things. They know. And I'm like, whoa! And like, is it an elf? Is it a Bigfoot? I couldn't tell you, but it blew away that they returned our gold, and they returned that pan. I don't know what else can you say. That's just one of those things. We're still blew our mind that they carried it 2 or 3 miles, never spilled a speck of gold. We're like we're not really investigators. We're painting for gold. We go to these places because we're going out in the woods to fish, hunt, prospect for gold, and then we have experiences. So we gotta, we have to share this stuff because, what was it? An elf? What brought back our gold? And that's kind of why we do that's why we do our stuff, because if people pay attention, there's some supernatural things going on, and I can't tell you. We don't know who it is, but it's pretty daggum cool.
And that's down there at South Tennessee, where we haven't been gifting.
No, but even
we haven't even worked with them. I don't think. Not like besides us going down to the creek and gold pan, they watching us play in the creek and stuff. But for them to return something of ours, like they know us
the next morning. Well, we left that morning, went down there. It wasn't there. I went and picked the camera up, and you might have that recording camera. But anyway, the camera, somehow or other, it mysteriously moved. It had 250 perfect videos. Video number for video like 250 was just a gray thing going on. There's no hair. There's no hand. I couldn't even make that video. I don't even know how they made that video. So they did something with that camera, and then we went back. We were at the campsite, and that's when I walked over, and I knew. I said to Matt, "I bet they brought it back." How in the world did that hit my mind? And sure enough, I looked. I turned around and I said, "I bet they brought it back." And my eyes locked to that pan within seconds, and there it was. And he looked at me. He looked at the other pan. He goes, he thought he was like me. What? He looked over there, the other pan, and he was
mad. I was like, I lost the pan, Dad. Dang gun it. I'm supposed to be in trouble right now. Freaking dang gun it, Dad. I'm supposed to be beating my head still. You're not supposed to just say Bigfoot gave it back. What the heck?
Kind of like what Nancy said. You know, it wasn't a leprechaun, or you probably wouldn't have got it back.
It could have been.
So how much money in gold was that probably?
Well, nowadays probably 150.
Yeah, right now, it's getting up there. I think gold's over $5 grand an ounce.
Just a quarter.
$5 grand an ounce.
A dollar quarter. Or
one ounce corn is $5,000. If you got $1, that's $5 grand.
$1 coin. That's
I can go get you something. I'm gonna say something. But anyway,
don't tell them. We smolted it.
I need to.
But we have
I need to.
here.
We have.
I need to start panning for gold. Forget this. Forget this Bigfoot hunting.
Well, that's what we do, but that's the problem is you get out that recording we got was when we were panning for gold. Everything we get was we weren't even the experiences we've got was not we were panning for gold. Or we're backwoods camping and they shake my tent to hell and back, or we were camping. We're not investigators, mate. We're just livers. But the thing is going out whenever you go out in the woods, as you well know, keep your eyes open. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Things will happen.
Go ahead.
You know, I can guarantee people one thing. When you're in the woods, you are being watched.
Yep.
And
100%.
I think they can watch your aura too, so they can feel whether you're good or bad. They feel that stuff, and then they know whether they're monkey with you or not.
Oh yeah.
They know your intentions always.
Almost at the end of my pen.
Hey, I tell you what, I want to show you something. I don't know if I can do this real quick on this camera, but I was just looking through some of my old paperwork, and I want to show you what we would print and what we would put out, give you an idea of our thoughts. So we were kind of learning, and let me see if I'll put this up to the camera, and I'm going to just go through some of these. So check out some of these pictures, give you an idea. All right, let's see. Let me get them going. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so we got Broken Arrow.
Now that was out.
I'm not talking. There's too many pictures.
There is.
And some of them were hand drawn. Some of them like that. Yeah, I know, but you can see. I'm just going through ideas. What we would do is we print stuff on the printer, and stuff like these are like Palladians or something, right? I don't even know who they are, but I wanted to know. What do they think about these things, And these are the kind of pictures that we print up. And something you might try, Mike, because it's fascinating what they will do to your paperwork. See, these are like mushrooms. I wonder if they would, here's something like, I don't know, looks like a hunter or Indian. I'm not quite sure. And then, here's like pictures, some of them are just grayscale pictures. We're curious about, what they thought about the pyramids. Some of these have not been put out. You can see that we had took pictures and thought, well, let's put these out. We haven't put these out, as you can tell, because they haven't been put. They're clean. They haven't been put out. They haven't been used. But I just thought it'd be interesting for you to see some of the ideals that we had come up with. This was like a bunch of crystals, so with moon phases. Then we do hand drawings too. And more hand drawings, here's pictures of men and monkeys, and see if here's a picture of like a giant with little people. But I mean,
I wonder what they would do if you left a Bible out there.
Well, there you go. Right? See, you put that out there. I haven't put that out there to see.
Man, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's what these are pictures that I just looked at my folder just to give. I know Amanda, she goes out and investigates too. It's something that you might get information from.
Yeah.
From those whatever's out there. But I think that's neat. Something that we used to do. We haven't put these out because I don't know. We just haven't been out there to put them out. But there's pictures to be researched.
Yeah, about half of them we did put out, but the other ones are more crisp and clean. No, we haven't put those ones out.
I think they broke this trident.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a squirrel, but of course, we assume.
Now, the place we go to is full of tridents. The only place I know, except for a guy in Colorado that does bigfooting, he's always got tridents. But this area that we go to specifically has tridents. Trees. Wow. It's the weirdest thing, and it's only in that specific place. A lot of burial mounds up there, and of course, I think later on you want to talk about this one. But anyway, you might remember what that one is, the smelly one.
Yeah,
he's laughing already. Yeah, we get that. He's in the bag, but
I think. Let me see if I have that video. See if it uploaded.
While you're looking for that, this one is actually quite interesting. If they possibly tore off the trident, then possibly it wasn't the Bigfoots. that did all those tree art out there. Possibly something else.
And to
Yeah.
me, at my point
Right.
right now, and someone in the chat might know, because I've noticed there's some people in the chat that's got some really good information. You should have there's a bunch of people in there you need to get on your show. I'm like, these guys are. I'm learning a lot from reading the chat. But those tridents, I think that represents Atlantis. Whenever you see it, you're talking about the Atlanteans, their technology.
Oh.
That's what I see it now. I don't know what it really means. That's just from what I've been able to gather. If I see a trident, it's like represents the people of Atlantis or the Atlanteans, So
That's cool. Let me see if this one's it. I don't know if it is. If it ain't, it was the one that was corrupted. I hope it's not the corrupted one. I hope this is it.
And that we found laying face down on the ground. The trail cam caught 250 videos. This is the video.
That is that video
the video
that I could not duplicate. Out of 350 videos, this was 300. There was 350 videos,
The other
like exactly,
249
and
videos
349 was
turned out
perfect.
great.
And this was 350. This is the one where they moved
we
the
also
camera.
verified
Can you
it's
tell me how to
impossible
even
for the
make
cam
that
to roll
video?
the distance that it did.
I've slowed it down.
Yo.
Yeah, that's that video when we were camping there.
So they moved it.
They moved it from the tree down to the road. It was facing flat on the ground. Well,
The stick. All right. You can see, obviously, it's been used.
okay. Yeah, that was
No,
but
the
yeah,
digging tool.
that was that camera shot. That was that video. You go and you pull the SD card, and it's got. I remember, I think it was 250 or something, 250 videos, and that was video 250. Now all videos, all the way up to 300 and
249.
249, perfect color, beautiful. That one, when we went back next morning to get the camera was facing down on the road. They had taken it from the woods, put it on the road, and that's the video was on it.
Wow.
And when you slow it down, I would figure I would see hairs from a hand handling it or something, but it's been messed with electronically. You can take a look at it, slow it down, and you go, I can't. I thought for sure, well, I'll be able to see fingerprints.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so something handled it, but somehow they did it in a way that it produced that just gray and white.
Like IRF light was on, so it was like some type of dark video. And then there was light back there, so it possibly was during the day when we was leaving. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Well, based on the timestamp, it was about 10 o'clock at night when it happened.
Exactly.
The night that we had already moved to the other campsite, when we realized we forgot it. We'd also lost the pain to go, but we said, oh, yeah, well, we'll go back and get the trail cam. We left it. We put it up. It was a security system for us on the road coming in to monitor anybody coming and going in case anything happens to us. We always put a trail cam up on our vehicles wherever we park, which is something you might want to do whenever you go. Put a camera pointing at your vehicle,
See what comes walking out looking at my windows for me?
Yeah, or, you come back and your vehicle's been vandalized. We came back and we had a bear break into our truck or try to break in, and it took the deck of trail cam. And Matt followed. He went, yeah, a bear, man, a bear. Yeah. Right? You got to be. We came back and we had a flat tire, left front tire was flat, and the trail cam's missing. Right? We'd been out in the woods for about an hour or two, and so Matt, he's like, I think that bear went straight up this hill, and I thought he was an idiot. Yeah, I'm like, how did they find the trail cam? It was over there hidden. It was hidden on the side of the road over in the bushes. Anyway, we got the SD out of it. We still use that trail cam. It's my favorite. It's a cheap $11 Chinese one. It's been such a good one. And I advertise it. People like, buy this one, guys. Just like $15, dude. It's the best. Because we have one that's been chewed by a bear, took the SD out, and you can see the bear. He took it before he invaded our vehicle. He took the camera away, and then he invaded the vehicle. And we know it was I'm pretty sure it was a bear because it had little cubs because it had small feet printed around the truck.
Was something borrowing the bear's body?
What is it?
Wait, what was that?
Was something borrowing the bear's body?
Yeah, it was something buried.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like
it was-
something was occupying that spirit of the body of the bear, and it took the cam, ran directly straight up the hill, like it knew he was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that spirit that was in that bear, it was on the hunt or on to something of no good. So he took it and ran straight up the hill, pulled off the strap, and still ran up the hill even further. And then finally, he was gnawing at it. Even on the camera, you could still see that he was
it's
gnawing
great.
at it
It's
for
great.
a while.
I've got it
And
posted.
then he left it. And then he went down below, and then got to the front of my hood of the truck on both sides, punctured both of my front tires,
With his-
but my front left driver's side
Oh,
tire
no.
was flat.
We had to go to town to fix a flat. We had
And
a
then
bicycle pump to get back to town to get a mechanic to fix a flat. And then all your tires basically had holes in them.
No,
Eventually.
just the front two tires.
Front two tires.
And then all the way around the truck, on the side of the camper shell that we built, was bear paw prints all the way around it, even on the back side. And that's when we were like advertising, saying, "See, guys,
Yeah.
you,
We were advertising them because we built them. These are bear proof.
bear proof now."
Yeah, we had bear proof because the bear didn't get in.
Guys, I probably better let you go. You know, we've been on almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm looking at the clock up there.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell everybody, though, where to find you because they need to go watch your video about the lemon water. That was really good. I watched that today. That was really good.
Cool. Yeah, I do. I think they took. It might save their lives because if we get evaded by ETs, I think I believe in Mel Gibson's. Is a good guy, and I believe the movie Signs is Signs. And I do believe he's trying to make sure that we all are aware that we might get some ugly visitors in the future.
Pre-warning.
So Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. We're on YouTube, and most of our videos. I have a whole lot more than it shows because I have an unlisted folder. But everything that I don't have up front, it's in the unlisted folder. So you want to see the picture of the bear, the bear chewing on it. You want to see the bear. I mean, that's a cool thing is. There's something gets in, and you can see the camera being carried off into the woods, but eventually you see the snout of the bear chewing it. You're like, yes. So he's chewing on the thing. And so anyway, that's on my unlisted. But look at my unlisted folders for half of the stuff because we think that we poke it. So we just poke that stuff away.
Yeah. And my channel, it's just a toy channel that we just do around the property and such. So mine's logically insane. I was in the beginning of the chat saying hi, but besides that, Kentucky.
Yeah, he's logically insane.
17.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And the thing is he's had like, a couple basic viral videos and they go 300,000, 400,000, 500,000.
Oh, wow.
So he's got more views than me and you and everybody. And so I feel like punching him because it's not fair, right? If a guy puts out a short and gets 500,000 views and I've got 40,000 views, it took me 15 years to get 40,000 views and you put out one short. So everybody should go and subscribe and punch him.
I think you need to cut his tobacco back a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. I got 142 or something like videos with 400,000 views.
Well, he's got, like I said, he made copper insert shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that went viral. And then he made another video about
diesel nozzles.
No. You made one about the old man, a poor man's opium, which is wild lettuce. And that was insane.
Yeah, it was like 100 to 200.
Well, like I said, me and Mike's like me. I earn every daggone view, and he gets like 300. He got like almost 500 subscribers in one day.
Yes,
you imagine that?
Subscribers.
One
post. His channel was built in like 2 days,
with 2 videos.
They're cheating, Mike. They're cheating us, man.
They're cheating us. Yeah, I want to give up now. I want to make Amanda run this channel now.
Yeah, there you go.
Let her do it all.
Thanks everybody for coming. You've had, like I said, I was sitting there reading the comments.
Thank you.
It was wonderful. They had so much. People had really good insight. You got some smart people hanging out with you.
You got investigators in your little chat. You got there a lot of them.
Yeah, we got a lot of good people. We got a lot of good subscribers. I got a great core supporters here. I appreciate them a whole lot. They really stuck with me. They sure have. They're really good people. It's been a tough road though. Abnormal has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And as you can see, the new symbol I'm using now is the phoenix to rise above the ashes, right?
I was looking at that today and I was thinking about that.
The fire horse.
Yeah, a new beginning, man.
Can I ask anybody in the chat that was born 1966 to put a 1 in the chat? Because that's the fire horse year. I'm a fire horse. And this year, we've been waiting 60 years for this year. I'll be 60 years old this year. And I'm just wondering how many people were born in 1966 because that's your fire horses. By the way, Trump's a fire horse. So it's going to be a hot year, guys.
You got one. Reverend Wolf.
All right. That's the one. Yeah, Reverend, he's been putting a lot of slamming comments, man. So there you go. He's a fire horse. There you go.
Of course.
You know, next Tuesday is going to be the blood moon, the only blood moon of this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm going out boots on the ground that night. Lisa is 1966 also.
Hey, another fire horse, Lisa. We are on the same team. We're going to burn it up this year. I was born 666, but I'm not going to give you the other number because everybody will say, you're the devil.
Yeah.
I'm very close to 66666, but I'm not.
I was born in 76.
Right? 76.
Yeah.
It's a good year.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've got 2 fire horses in your chat, so that's pretty cool.
I'm 1996.
Oh, he's young.
1983.
83.
I graduated in 84. Good years.
Yeah, you know, I miss the 70s and 80s. When I see the old commercials, I'm like, man, I miss those days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know, the golden age should come back, believe it or not. I know people that said it before Trump. Trump's just, you know, we get the last time we told, let's get rid of the bloodsuckers. And I think you said you knew a lot of them, and we need to get rid of all these bloodsuckers in this world so we can get back to doing living right, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be good right now. So tempting. But hey, yeah, I want to have you all back sometime. Let's do a Patreon where we can talk about the file drop and what you all really think about that, and maybe we can take some clips from Signs and we can talk about that and how it relates, and Mel Gibson, what he's trying to do, and I think we can have a really big show.
Yeah, that would be awesome because, like I said, all three of us a few days. It was put on me. You ever get a pressure of something that I need to do something?
Oh yeah,
that was put on me because I'm like, people need to understand the importance of having a lemon water. I know it's so stupid, but I feel it, man. I feel it's something. We have lemon juice, so we're ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready too.
Something's coming.
Do you know anybody that doesn't drink lemon juice?
No.
You know anybody that don't drink lemon juice? Run.
Right.
You know, when you say that though, I think of the movie. What was it? The Lost Boys. You know, where they snuck the garlic in on the guy that night. So maybe it's not the garlic when you just sneak in. Maybe it's the lemon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't want to give you the secrets that actually kills out the elites.
Yeah. You go to the restaurant, you see a guy say, "Oh no lemon in my water, please."
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You know he's an alien.
You know exactly 100%.
Or the lady. Oh yeah, I got to ask you a question. I about forgot. Or the lady on the airplane that's screaming, "It's not human." So Sharon Guy, what? Yeah, there it is. She has some of it, and she said hers is really old. Does it still work?
Yeah, mine's about 15 years old. It's just starting to get good.
Yep. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, I was on X Day and I asked X about Grok, and you know, Grok is doing really good about not censoring. And I was like, "What's the word on black salve?" And it told me what it knew, and it was right. It's made out of, I think it's blood salve. I was trying to remember what it was. But anyway, it's of course it's banned, all that kind of stuff. It's for skin cancer, that kind of stuff. I've had to use it 2 or 3 times on skin basically skin cancer, something that starts growing on your skin. You're like, what is this? And but I could get more information about it on Grok. I'd lost the recipe, but Grok on X was actually volunteered it right out, and so and for her, she's got it doesn't matter. It's still got the same herbs in it. It's that Bloodworth or something. I can't remember. Like I said, but I know that you could still get the recipe if you go to X and ask Grok. Just ask it, what's up with black salve? Because I mean, on Google or Chat GPT, it's like you've called the devil. They don't want to tell you anything about it, and it's illegal and banned in pretty much every country and everything. And I'm just excited. 3 years ago, we couldn't talk about ivermectin. We couldn't talk about, black salve. So now, things are turning. It's turning. It is turning. We're talking, aren't we?
That's it.
2 years ago, if we tried to have this conversation, you'd had so many trolls and so much interference. They just can't keep up with the landfill of information. So
it's like what Charlie Kirk said: when people stop talking, that's when people start getting hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
We lost a good guy there.
Yep. Right.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I hated that. That just really bothered me. Still bothers me.
Yeah, Sharon, she says she needs a recipe. I don't know if you can get it on X. Ask Grok. He did really good in giving me enough information. I remembered it. But our Tennessee Kentucky Big Fig at gmail.com. If you can't find it, I'll see if I can dig it up. But if you need any, I have plenty. Just email me. If you need it, if you have skin cancer or something, this is for entertainment. I'm not a medical person. And
this is just black gook. This is just
entertainment purposes only.
Just out of CERN. Bottom of CERN.
Bottom of CERN's pit.
It's just some black what they call it?
Bottom of the pond.
Yeah. It's just on your standard black goo. Everybody should have some.
Old gear oil. Keep your gears rolling.
Keep your horses vaccinated.
Keep them my horse vaccination. I did build you a comedy video. I don't think you don't have a chance to play it, but if you get a chance to play it afterwards, go ahead and watch it. It's funny.
I will for sure. Well, guys, I'm going to let you run, but we are going to have you back. Thank you for stopping by. Love you guys. It's always a pleasure having you on and an honor. It really is.
Yes,
we'll have to do this again.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Mike. Love you guys. Love everybody in chat. Thanks so much, Sharon and Rev and everybody that just hung out here and just and my fire horse partners, man. We're going to burn it up this year because it's going to be hot, but we're going to do it, guys. We're going to be.
That's right.
Put a horse in me too. I might be a fire rat, but I am something fire.
That's right. Well, good night, guys. God bless, and we'll see y'all soon.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Those guys are awesome.
They are awesome. That was a great show.
Did I wear you out, Amanda? Are you tired?
I'm tired. Yes.
I figured you was. My back was getting tired.
Yeah, my back's getting tired too because I've been sitting here this whole time. Just sitting.
Mine too. Well, Amanda, would you like to say anything before I let you run and stretch your back?
Yep. Good night to everyone, and God bless, and thank you all for tuning in.
All right, guys. We appreciate your support. Good seeing y'all. Don't forget, tomorrow night at, I believe, 8:30, we're going to be boots on the ground. So come over and see us and hang out with us. We'll see what happens. As always, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And until next time, guys, be careful. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 8:30 in the woods. Thanks for being here. Good night.
See ya.